All right. The Hangout is live and in person.
You could have started this a while back. I wouldn't. I wouldn't mind.
I was
Oh,
working some kinks out myself, I guess. So it's
oh.
like, okay, well, here we go. We're gonna learn. We're going to learn together. And
Well, there you go. And I haven't learned, so only first.
I have noticed, in this format for Google Hangouts, you can't really see what everyone else is talking about in the group chat because the group chat is limited to whoever's in the Hangout. It's not for the people on YouTube itself.
So how can we find these comments? I want to be able to see what people are saying so I can react and talk.
Well, one way is to go to YouTube directly.
Okay, so like when we're doing Google, what do? You just go to that and you.
Well, what I normally do, this is just me personally, what I'll do is I'll use my tablet that I have here, and I'll kind of let the broadcast go live, and I will kind of let it play in the background, and I'll watch the live chat from like my lap. And then I'll respond to people that way. I think there should be another way to do it. This is the only way that I've found how to do it. So at least right now.
Well, maybe Frugal knows he's a genius, or at least that's what he tells us.
Maybe he does know.
Yeah.
He knows things and stuff. Or maybe I can
definitely.
Let me see. Let me see if I can try something here real quick while we're waiting.
Try away.
I shall try. Give me a minute. There might be an echo for a brief moment.
Maybe.
Okay, maybe not. Ha! I beat you to the punch, YouTube. Ha! Okay. So now, for future reference for yourself, basically I went to YouTube, went to the video that we're on, and what you can do is there's that mute button for the video.
Yeah.
And you can just mute the sound and you can't hear it, but you can see the chat on the side. So
right.
So I could see Electric 1995 saying, "Yo, how y'all doing? We're good."
Oh, well, why don't we do that then? Why don't I'll try to do that here also. I guess it's on yours, so I would have to go to your page, right?
Yeah, go to my page.
There we go. See, the young guys teaching the old man a little bit of technology, and that's always cool.
Well, I'm always the learning type too. I like to learn stuff.
Yeah. I did a little Matthew McConaughey there. It's gotta be cooler if you did.
I mean, I just learned how to do this just now.
All right.
I was like, I never thought to use the mute button.
Well, hey, if I go dark,
yeah,
it's really picking up outside.
Well, it's probably because the storm is picking up. I've heard it off and on since we started it. And even before that when I was at yours. So, yeah, guys, there's always the possibility he might leave. The storm might come in and sweep him away.
Yeah.
Let's hope not. But
that's. I really don't want it to happen. Please let us keep the power. I love air conditioning. But everybody else has lost it, so I'm expecting the same to happen here.
Frank the werewolf. Hello, Frank. Are you really a werewolf? Jeez.
Is he from London?
I don't know. It doesn't say he's from London. It says Grace Randolph drinks milkshakes. I have no idea who Grace Randolph is, so your guess is mine.
I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of the fact that all of a sudden milkshakes are a bad word. I'm a fat guy. I love me some milkshakes. So.
Same. I like a good milkshake.
What's the deal with that? Yeah, but now it's now milkshake crew is a bad word.
Well, in general, I don't know why. I guess for the last few weeks I've been wanting to. I don't know. Either I want to start stuff or I'm just agitated. I don't know why.
Well, see, I would like to try to avoid that.
Yeah.
And I understand there's subs to be gotten from jumping into the fray.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, if you watch Cummings, if you watch Diversity,
yeah,
they go out and they're just picking up subs left and right by I don't want to say attacking, but by confronting. Confronting is the rock. they see something, they go, hey, okay, that's bad, and let me tell you why it's bad.
Oh, I remember Grace. I know her. The Beyond the Trailers girl. I remember. She's an idiot. I wouldn't recommend listening to her. She's kind of stupid. Considering she tried to make a case for the Deadpool movie not to be rated R because one person who subscribed to her channel has a little kid who loves Deadpool and wanted to see that movie.
Oh, so she was like, no.
Well, Grace supported the idea to make I believe she made a petition to ask Fox to make the Deadpool movie a PG-13 movie so little kids could see it too. I was like, that's stupid. Cough Squad.
Yeah, Deadpool needed.
Okay. This is not
Deadpool
diversity
needed to be. I had somebody tell me earlier today that it was about the Gabbies, and they said something along the lines of, "Oh, and you can get diversity to roast it." Like, what do you think I do on my channel? That was what I thought. I wrote in, I'm very good at doing that myself. It's okay. Thank you very much.
We all can roast.
And I do it pretty well. Yeah.
It's not actually, in a sense, considering what I've seen, I don't even need to do anything. I could just let the words that they speak for themselves.
Yeah. I do 30-minute long America videos when all I really need to do is just hold the comic and wave to it like a Price is Right model.
Exactly.
I mean, it's its own joke, so.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that I'll do a 30-minute video on an America comic, or I'll watch Diversity, or I'll watch Mem, and they'll have stuff that I didn't see. I'm like, how the freaking hell does that happen?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that sometimes we'll miss.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we really do enjoy the indie reviews. The thing is they don't get a lot of views, not comparatively anyway.
No, they wouldn't.
But it's something where me and my brother both said, you know what? I don't care. I'm having a good time, because we look at them, we go, well, what looks good this week? Like Marvel and DC, we do everything, so we have no choice.
Right.
We have to do this. So good or bad, we're going to read every Marvel and DC. But with independence, we go, oh, that looks good, or that looks good. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, you get to pick and choose.
Yeah, so and so we get to check out things that, well, that looks interesting. Although I did make one rule for us.
Right.
We have to review every -- 1.
Yeah, at the very least.
Yeah. Holy Toledo. Jesus. It's like the freaking poltergeist tree is outside my window. It just leaned right towards me. Damn.
Well, I hope the tree doesn't fall on you.
No, it's a healthy tree. And like I said, it's got a lot of branches and such, so I'm pretty sure the roots are strong.
Yeah.
But that thing just, it's just amazing. Storms fascinate me. I mean, just.
Yeah.
I worked at Twister at Universal for 6 years.
Yeah. I mean, I live on the West Coast, so we don't get storms nearly as bad as you, but sometimes we'll get some real humdingers of windstorms. I think we had at least one storm, I think maybe about 10 years ago, that was nearly a hurricane level storm. It broke windows in businesses in the downtown Astoria areas. It leveled trees and entire forests.
You live in Oregon, and that's the only state that said, you know what, England's got a good climate. I think we want to live like England. Let's just have constant rain all the time. Not heavy rain, just constant. We like wet.
Yeah.
Well, wet's only good when with a lady. That's so good. Yes, exactly. You got fun of 90s was not a bad time for independence. I mean, that was when Bone was out. I'll sing the praises of Bone every day that I can. I mean, that is just an amazing story.
Sadly, I've never read Bone or Rom for that matter, and I'm kind of saddened by that fact. I've heard good things.
Rom now is awesome. I would recommend it. It's only on issue 15, 16, somewhere around there.
Oh yeah, that's right. They had a new one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good.
If I can ever remember to keep it on my list.
Bones should be required reading. But yeah, 90s was a great time for independence as well.
Yeah, it had its highs and lows.
Well, you had stuff like Evil Ernie and Lady Death. Hellboy started coming around really big then. Of course, Image at the time. Image is weird because even though they were technically independent, they were never really considered it because, they came out big right out the gate.
Well, you're a lucky person, Frank, to live in a time when you could buy all your comics for 50 to 65 cents. You lucky bastard.
Frank is only a few years younger than me. I am getting this sense here. Around 35 to 40 there, Frank?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I'm only
I remember the 35 centers. The youngest, the cheapest I go are the 35 centers. And after that, they bumped up to 50. Okay. Yeah, you're about 6 years younger. Yeah, same generation, me and Frank.
Grendel.
Mage was awesome. And Mage, they just started up a new Mage book. Chef Jack reviewed it, I think, either in the last Independent or the one before that.
Huh. I think I've heard of Grendel before, but I've never. There's a local, well, I guess they call it an antique shop, but it's basically a collectible shop full of old comics and stuff, and that's where I've gotten a lot of my old comics that I've recently gotten. And I've seen Grendel books. Is Grendel worth it, Frank? Should I go and pick up some Grendel?
Oh,
if I can. Or you can answer the question too. That's completely fine.
Yeah, classic Grendel, yes. I haven't read anything new, but I can tell you classic Grendel is worth it.
There's
a lot of characters.
I know the name Grendel because I know that's from the Legend of Beowulf. But what is Grendel about exactly? Because I don't know.
Oh my gosh!
Please educate me, sir. I'm waiting.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna end up looking like a fool here because I can't really tell you. I mean, I know Frank. Tell him because I'm gonna come off like an idiot here.
Oh no!
Because this is a book that I enjoyed back in the day, but I haven't read since.
Oh, so you don't remember? I get it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was an ultra-violent thing. It was just, but yeah, unfortunately, I remember enjoying it. It's like the Badger.
Huh.
I
don't
remember
say too much. Okay.
No, the thing is, I remember reading the Badger back in the 80s. It's an independent comic book. He's kind of a Wolverine style. And it was but the thing is, I couldn't tell you anything about the story, but I could tell you the visceral feeling I got when I read it.
Okay. Kind of like Dark City meets Moon Knight. Okay. Well, I like Moon Knight. I haven't read the new book. I've heard a lot of really good things about the new one, but I haven't really. I kind of swore off Marvel almost in general. I was like, I don't want to buy anything. I'm just.
I would say if you make an exception for anything, Moon Knight would be the title, the last one definitely. It was just tons of fun.
Yeah, like I said, I heard a lot of good things about it, but since what was it? I think it was like about over a year ago. It might have almost been 2 years now. Where me and my brother did a nearly like hour-long video where we're like, we're pretty much done with you, Marvel. We're kind of sick of your shit when we don't want anything to do with you. And I broke the rule. I only broke the rule twice. One to review the first issue of Spider-Man Renew Your Vows and the first issue for Guardians, the all-new Guardians of the Galaxy ongoing. And those were the only two times when I broke my rule of buying any new books. I'll buy old books because they're old books and I like reading them.
The real Teen Titans. By that he means the Marv Wolfman, George Perez Titans.
Oh yeah. I've actually picked up a few issues of that run. It's that's really good stuff. Actually, I've read.
Yes, it is. I know they have omnibuses and they put them out in individual trades, and I recommend them highly.
Well, I've been finding them for like dirt cheap at that one place I just mentioned. They have a bunch of they're like I've picked up at least I think 2 of them. I picked up one that was like Who is Donna Troy, And then another one that
that's a good story. That was number 50 of the new Teen Titans. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was fantastic. It actually made me tear up. It was like, oh man, this is emotional as hell. And I think the other one was the first appearance of Terra. So
I had that. I actually had that. I had that autographed by George Perez.
That's awesome.
That was really nice. And he came into a comic shop. I think he lives down here, but there's a comic shop here called Acme Comics, and I was just going through my books, and I had that. I had that one, and I had there was what was this, Infinite Crisis?
Yeah.
And he sits down right next to me, like, holy shit, it's George fucking Perez, and. We start having a conversation. And what's really weird is I realize I'm interviewing George Perez.
Nice.
I mean, there's people that are listening to us have this conversation. I'm asking them question after question, I'm thinking, they did this Return of Donna Troy. What do you think? He goes, well, you love a character while you're writing them, but you got to be able to just step back and let somebody else do it.
Yeah.
And it's just, he just talked and answered everything. He had a smile on his face. He was going through his books. I was going through mine. And I just so happened to have Infinite Crisis. It was the first issue. And I didn't ask him. He just slides it over, signs it, slides it right back. I was like, this guy is my freaking hero. I mean, he's just a really nice guy.
I've seen so much of his stuff. He looks like the nicest guy to talk to.
Mm-hmm. I found a lot of the statesmen are.
Yeah.
Which really surprises me when you talk to the Mark Wades and the Kurt Busieks.
Yeah, there's just
like, really, guys, is that where you want to be when Jesus comes? It's like,
well,
what is that all about?
Even if you're not a believer in God, or even if you're not big into one political spectrum. I remember when, I think it was not long after Donald Trump was elected, a couple of them said that they wouldn't even go to a comic book convention in a red state. And I never did a video on it, but I wanted to say, I felt like I should say, like, if I was in your position where I was a writer and a comic book creator, I would actually say, oh, these guys aren't going to show up. Well, guess what, guys? I'll be there with bells on. Just you wait.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would do, because it's like you're denying a fan base, because not everybody who's even in a red state or a blue state are going to be Democrat or Republican anyway. So what's the point?
Yeah, well,
you're denying people an opportunity to meet you in general, which is rude.
I like what Michael Jordan said about the whole thing, not of comics, but they asked him about if he would talk politics. He says no, and they said, why don't you talk politics? He says, because Republicans buy shoes too.
There you go.
That is, I am surprised that Marvel lets them put their Marvel credits on their private Twitter. There should be like a central Marvel Twitter feed where people can go to talk to the creators.
Yeah, something.
And politics are not allowed. Let's talk about comic book.
The one thing
if you talk to DC writers.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you talk to DC writers and create, you're talking about comic books. I mean, occasionally you'll get something, but it's not the same. It's not like Dan Slott fucking lost him. Excuse my language. I never talk like this on my own. I feel like I'm taking advantage.
Go ahead. I do not plan on censoring these to begin with. So
Dan Slott lost Amazing Spider-Man because he couldn't reach the deadlines. He's spending way too much on Twitter.
Right.
It's amazing that happened.
I think that the one thing that bugs me the most about it is when you hear celebrities and even these comic book creators and whatnot trying to talk about politics and whatnot. It's like, this is not what people are here for. If you're going to write in your bio that, you're an actor, you're a musician, you're a comic book creator, whatever the case may be, politics are not the focal point, the reason why people come to you. I'm fairly positive. What?
Kevin Smith is overrated.
I kind of agree with that. Now he is.
Well, how is he rated anyway? He's more of a podcaster now than
he's he seems like a really friendly guy and whatnot. and he's written fun stories. But overall, he's probably got one good story under his belt, and that was probably his run on Daredevil, and that's probably all he has.
Oh, okay. We're talking about comics, not movies.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, if we're talking movies, his movies have dipped in quality recently too, I think. So I've never really watched any of his movies. So
I liked Red State, I like Clerks 3, but the thing is, he will tell you he's not a great director.
Yeah. At least he's humble enough to admit it.
Dude, actually, what you're talking about, we got the creators talking politics. I'm afraid that we're going down that road.
Yeah. It concerns me a lot, too. It's like, I don't want to talk about politics because that's just a dirty territory that I don't want to be in.
Yeah. I mean, if all we talk about, and I understand the two big guns in our group are Cummings and Diversity.
Yeah.
And their channel are basically now they're all about the editors or the writers. What are they saying on Twitter? Yeah, and occasionally they'll review a comic book.
I think that it's important.
And it occurred to
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, it's keeping up with the industry for sure. But if we're telling others to stop talking about politics and start talking about comics, I think we should also live by example.
Right. That's what I've always tried to do on my channel in general is I don't want to talk directly about any certain type of politics because for myself,
I agree.
I'm completely neutral. I don't care which party you're in. I could give two shits less. I just, if you want my respect, you earn it. And I hope you extend the same courtesy to myself. And if you come to my channel to hear me rant and rave and ramble on about stupid stuff, please feel free to do so. But understand that I just don't like it in general. Whoa.
But can you hear that, guys?
Can anybody in the chat hear it? I'm assuming they probably can.
Can you hear that?
I can.
Yeah.
I can hear like trees or something rattling outside.
It's actually, the wind is... I got to check so I got one of these wall unit air conditioners, and I can feel a little wind blowing through.
Is it like rattling off? So Electrician 95 says yes, he can hear you. So you can hear the storm.
I was talking about the storm. I'm in Florida during the hurricane, and basically this is until the power goes out, just chatting, because I thought I wouldn't have time for a video, but I guess I could have bumped out a comic book review of some sorts. But I'm in Florida. I live right next to Disney. Not like right next to, but like, down the road and around the corner. When I mention politics, though, I'm talking about if all we talk about are the editors and how bad Dan Slott is, and I've got some juicy stuff with Eric Larson. I had a conversation with him about that young Asian girl. If you saw my Savage Dragon review,
I have not watched that yet, actually. But yeah, go ahead.
But because we're in the center, that's why we didn't leave. We're on higher ground. And it's also partly that, it's a category 4. When it hits a 5, then we get worried. Right now, we're grabbing our surfboards and we're heading to the beach.
That sounds like some people out here in Oregon would do on the coast. When a bad storm comes, it's like, oh, righteous waves, dude. Let's go out into the middle of a storm. I think that we had a tsunami threat a few years back. I think it was after the earthquake in Japan. People were talking about going out. People were talking about going out to surf the tsunami. Like, are you mental?
Tsunami, not wave.
It's not a wave.
Whole different. I've got friends who lived through the tsunami, so I've heard exactly how bad it can be.
Right. Yeah.
And it's no joke. And when you travel around Thailand, if you're anywhere near a coastal city, you will actually see signs that say tsunami warning, in emergency, go this direction. And it'll lead up to in Phuket, the signs will lead you to the hill that the big Buddha is on.
Right.
Yeah, come on. If a tsunami's coming, you got time to read that sign and then drown. That's basically it. You know?
Yeah. Mangas are comics only in Japan. That's not true. They're a comic book in general.
See, now we're going to start another civil war. Are mangas comics? I would say, yeah. I mean, because
pretty much. I mean, an anime is an animation. It's just shorthand Japanese for animation.
Well, here's what I would say. Oh shit! Let me close this curtain in case something flies through that window. But here's what I would say: if you would count those Archie digests,
yeah,
as a comic book, then mangas are basically Japanese Archie digests.
Pretty much.
All they're shaped like a book. You know, it's the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Then again, we do make it. You heard the wind? Yeah, it's getting interesting over here.
We'll see how long he can stay on, and then once the power goes out, if the power goes.
If I was actually a smart man, I would turn off the computer and start lighting candles. But
do you have a flashlight nearby?
But my intelligence is way overrated.
Do you have a flashlight nearby so then you can actually light candles later?
Like everybody else in the world, I've got a cell phone, and the computer's on battery power. So
I guess that'll work.
Yeah, like I said, my intelligence is overrated, but I just sound smart because our arch enemies are drunken idiots.
No kidding. I've actually just given up talking to them in general. I don't want to talk to them anymore. I've tried to extend an olive branch, and I actually even apologized and said I was sorry if I acted in a certain way before, and I extended the olive branch. He's like, no, don't want it. It's like, okay, fine. I'm just going to ignore you from here on out.
The thing is they play it up, but if you ever look, they do this thing where they'll say, well, you just acted like a douche, and you're a douche, and douchey.
Yeah.
And then they take your tweet, and then they go put it on their page where you can't see it, and them and their friends just rag on you.
Yeah.
And, I mean, yeah, they're trying to play it as they're trying to play it off as they are the saintly ones, which they're not. But then they just go off and they do their own douchey things.
Betting pool on his life. You're terrible, Frank.
Well, what are the odds, Frank? I'll take a bet.
We're gonna start a death pool.
One of the best things my friends have ever said about me. We were watching. It was right after Red Dawn. You remember Red Dawn, Frank? But anyway, this is the movie where Russia invades the southern United States, and the group of teenagers basically form like a militia to fight back on. And of course, we came. No shade is thrown on Cummings, but we were talking about, well, if we were in that situation, who would be the leader? And I'm very quick on my feet. I can think of things, and we were talking about I would want my friend Todd, who's a freaking genius, not to be a leader because I want him thinking about things. And they said, well, you would be really good at thinking on your feet, but I don't think you'd care how many of us survived.
No.
So, yeah, so long as you survive, you don't care who else does. Yeah, so these are my friends. They know me. Not throwing shade on Cummings, just pointing things out. I respect Captain Cummings quite a bit. He's kind of the elder statesman for this little YouTube group that we've created.
Yeah.
But here's a good way to describe. And I mean, no disrespect to everybody. That's right, Russia, Cuba. That's right. This is no disrespect to anybody else in the group, but there's kind of I called them the Four Horsemen once. And it's myself, Cummings, Diversity, and Doug Ernst. Now here's to put into Game of Thrones thing. Because he's got more subscribers, everybody sees Diversity as the leader of the group.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't do anything about that, but I don't quite agree. But there you go. Because I don't think there's a leader. We're just four guys. But that's how they're seen.
Right.
So what you would get is all these people going after Diversity.
Diversity is Ric Flair.
And then you have me and Doug. Me and Doug are not shit posters.
No.
But if anybody comes up to us, we can knock them down. There's been nobody who's debated Doug or me who've really lasted at all. So we're off to the sides, and we're picking off people one by one as they come to us.
Yeah.
Captain Cummins, on the other hand, this big group of people who are hoarding towards us, he jumps right down in the middle and says, "Bring it on, motherfuckers." That is Captain Cummins.
Well, at least he's not shy about it.
No, not at all. I mean, and when I say stuff like that, I don't say it in any kind of insulting way.
No.
I mean, that is his strength. That is what he does. Yeah, I've got a lot of respect for Cummins. I've got respect for diversity, you know. I've got a hell of a lot of respect for Doug.
Yeah.
You know, I joke that he's a really chatty guy because it takes me 30 minutes to talk about an entire comic book, and it takes him 10 minutes to talk about one panel. You know, so imagine if he actually did an entire book. But that's part of Doug's strength. Doug, and it plays to the differences that we do. I go more of a consumerist aisle. Doug takes on the themes of a book. So I'm more of a technical critic, and he criticizes the themes. So, you know, we do have different strengths and such.
Well, we love you too, Frank.
We could debate, but I don't think we'll have too much to argue about there, Frank.
I don't know.
What do we disagree about enough to debate? But yeah, that's one of the things I really like. I love the group that's formed since Make My Milkshake, which, by the way, the Drunken Idiots have noticed that is what they keep bringing that up. It's when they decided to join this group. I'm like, I was just reading it, but I was like, no, guys, that's when lines were drawn.
Yeah.
Nobody chose this. It was just people who blindly accepted what happened on Make Mine Milkshake, and those who said, well, wait a second, can we see evidence? And then got called sexist for wanting to see evidence.
Yeah, and the beginning of Comicsgate, basically.
Yeah.
Especially
but
the
that's
article.
when lines were
was it Joe Glass, I think, from Bleeding Cool?
I don't remember his name.
I think that was it.
Green Hulk versus Joe Fixit. Now, are you talking about Gray Hulk in general or Joe Fixit during the Peter David?
Joe Fixit was the best.
Here's the thing. I actually can't argue. I don't even want to argue about that because I see his merit. But I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of the Hulk that's a force of nature.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that he's there, but then he just loses it, and then he's a problem to everybody.
Calm before the storm, considering that there is storm right now.
he's a guy. What level of villain is Spider-Man able to take on his own at the top of his ability?
In general, anybody probably from his own rogues gallery, and even then, that's stretching it. I don't think he could take on anybody else technically. Like, maybe Red Skull, but aside from Red Skull, I think he couldn't take on Doctor Doom.
He could beat Red Skull and like a bitch. Here's one thing. Okay, we do know that at a certain point, Spider was going to fight Doctor Doom, and he was afraid to.
Yeah.
I remember it's the first appearance of Silver Sable, the Gray Fox, I want to say his name is. I'm sorry, it's like 30 years ago I read this book.
Could have been Silver Fox?
No. It was a guy. It was an old man. Maybe it was
No, I think you're right. I think his name was Gray Fox.
But he needed to protect this thief, and Doctor Doom was going to kill him, and he was afraid to fight Doctor Doom. Yeah. Because he knew he was going to die. So I would have to think Doctor Doom in the John Byrne days when he was actually a villain, somebody just a little bit lower than that.
Silver Fox.
So
her dad. Silver Sable's dad.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Frank.
Okay.
But yeah, so it would definitely be somebody right below Doctor Doom that Spider-Man could take, because he knew he was going to die if he fought Doctor Doom.
You know, I think there was one thing that in Secret Empire that I noticed. that it's a lot of other people pointed out. Magneto should have been able to rip that entire helicarrier apart. Correct?
Yeah, I'm the one that pointed that out.
Yeah, you pointed. I think Micah Curtis also pointed it out, but it's like he just disappears after that. Where does he go?
Throw shade? Bring up Micah Curtis. I'll throw some shade. Michael Curtis sent me a message saying I was ripping him off.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw that.
But it was...
I don't think he was.
It's funny because he does his reviews of the same book I did. 3 months later, I'm ripping him off.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, here's the thing.
He's a substantially large channel. He probably didn't even know you existed.
Probably not. But the thing is, I didn't know he existed. I actually was like, who's Michael? Guys, who's Micah Curtis? You know, they told me okay. But the thing is, in all honesty, I look for tag words to put in, and I find out question words are good title words. So it'd be like how to, or how many, or this way. So I put something like why America Comics Sucks. Yeah. You know, bring people in. And apparently he titles his that way.
Yeah.
Okay. See, to me, it happens.
Yeah.
You know, you want to make a video how to write Daredevil. So you're going to write, if I created Daredevil, which will be very close to our if I wrote. What am I going to do? Oh, you some bitch. You're taking off it. No. People, you know, if you're doing this, you're going to cross streams occasionally.
Yeah, it's bound to happen.
I mean, oh, there's no debate. Injustice better than Civil War, tons better than Civil War.
Yep.
Should Captain America carry and use a gun more? I'm talking about the good Cap.
No,
it wouldn't be a moral thing because he's a soldier. So if they wrote him with a gun, it would be fine.
Yeah.
But the problem would be it would end up being not as creative.
Yeah.
Part of the reasons I think it's fun to watch superheroes not carry guns is because then they have to figure out different ways to, and otherwise it's like, oh my gosh, there's a blam. Okay. And next.
Yeah, but there isn't a whole lot of elegance to a gunfight.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make some impressive, in a film format, you can make a lot of impressive, gunfights and whatnot. Don't get me wrong. I love a good Western. I grew up on those, but still at the same time, it's pretty
there's
easy.
Only
it's
one way
bullet enters body, person dies.
Right. Should Captain America carry? Okay, and the next one is Injustice better than Civil War? Yes, because Injustice, everybody acted like their characters amped because of what happened with Superman.
Right.
Even Superman going crazy was
understandable.
It was a natural reaction to somebody who lost control of his life. Everything went away, so he wanted control more and more and more. However, Civil War had Mr. Fantastic, Tony Stark. They were all acting fascist.
They were acting out of character, every single one.
Yeah, even Captain America. Oh my gosh, Congress made a law. I'm going to go change that law by punching Tony Stark in the face. What? I mean, that would have been a better story had it ended with Captain America taking off the costume and running for president as Steve Rogers.
Actually, I think that would be a very good comic book for somebody to write.
Because that would have been in character. Mm-hmm. Give him.
Hi, Underground Geek. Good to see you. How you doing?
I love that with the Joker. I'm just seeing if there's any. Cap of the gun is Frank Castle. I agree. Yeah,
Frank Castle.
He is a soldier, so I didn't mind it when it was in the wartime and such like that. In light of Marvel versus Capcom Infinite coming out soon, what Capcom characters would you see joining? That's up to you, Knight. I am not the gamer.
Let's see. I like
hey, Underground.
I liked the demo. I played the demo on the channel, but in all honesty, I don't know if I even want to buy the game because they made terrible in a sense, because they made terrible excuses for why there weren't going to be any X-Men characters in the game. It's like, but you get to play as Captain Marvel and this character and that character. It's like, well, what if someone wanted to play as Wolverine or Magneto?
Yeah.
What about them? Sure, you can throw them a character that has the same skill set, but it's not going to be the same. Everybody loved playing Wolverine in those games. I liked playing Wolverine in those games.
If I were them, I would. If I were Marvel, as far as the X-Men and Fantastic Four are concerned, I would be like, make more movies, bitch, and then just put out the comics because they're advertising. But comic books have had a bad time advertising anyway because they never go outside of the medium. I think
I've seen at least a couple of instances when DC Rebirth was first starting out. I saw a few ads actually advertising DC Rebirth. Once on TV and once online on YouTube.
They have four now? 4, 5, 6? What do we have? We have Lucifer, iZombie, you have Legends, Flash, Arrow. They're going to have Black Lightning, Supergirl. That's 7?
That's 7 shows.
7 DC comic TV shows. There should be comic book ads on them constantly.
Definitely.
This is a storyline in Batman this month. This is the storyline in Wonder Woman this month.
Yeah.
And Marvel should be the same way. And both DC and Marvel should have them as trailers on the front of every movie.
Yeah, definitely.
At the very least, as far as the movies are concerned, they should be having them at least saying the big event.
Right.
Hey, Secret Empire is coming and it's on whatever, or what's the next one? Venomverse should be on Thor.
Yeah.
Legacy should be advertised on Thor, and Dark Metal should be advertised on Justice League. Get the word out there. But no, I mean the most advertisement we ever see is in the back of a comic book that to the people who are going to buy them anyway, except for of course Marvel because they suck.
Okay. Yeah, Frank and Electrician. Chung-Li and Strider are already in the game. I don't know about Guile, though. But those two are there. I already saw them in the demo, so I thought I'd answer their question.
No, that's fine. That's fine. It's part of the fun. I enjoy doing it.
I actually really do love these live streams because I get to interact with everybody a lot better.
Yeah, I wish I knew this trick. I think Frugal was trying to tell me about this, but I didn't quite get it. Like I said, my blind spot is technology. But at least now I know how to do this.
Yeah.
And I'll pick this up and get a little more. I appreciate you showing me.
Oh, no problem. Happy to do it. Nightmare on Elm Street and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. 2 of your favorite titles? Interesting. Are we talking about a comic book? Are we talking a comic book or movies?
Are you talking about me being old man comics or Frank? I think I'm still the old man here, but not by much now.
Hello, Jay. How are you? You naughty troll, you.
I've got a couple. I like the trolls.
Well, I like Jay.
The thing is that if you know that the person's a troll, you can end up turning it around and troll them.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll come on and they'll say, "Ha ha! I think America's a much better comic than Thanos," and you turn around and go, "Well, I would say that, but Thanos tastes a lot better." And just let their head explode and get around that kind of thing.
You're good?
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing good, Jay. If they do an Old Man Logan with X-23 as sidekick, will you read?
Well, yeah, I will because I do.
Well, he has no choice in the matter. If you're asking me, considering I'm on such a strict budget, I could barely buy a comic book to save my life. Probably not. I don't trust Marvel, unfortunately. Even if they got the right people on it, I'd probably still be skeptical.
I'm gonna here is a Nightwolf exclusive. I've never said this on my own channel. We have like 7 comic book collectors here. So it's not like I'm going out and buying everything. We're all buying a little bit so we can get everything.
Right. That's fine.
Yeah. It's not me doing have nowhere near that kind of money.
Yeah,
but that's how we do it, and mostly it's digital, and you could usually find something. I mean, it's really nice. But the problem is you gotta screenshot it and then break the panels up or the pages up so it doesn't, because on sometimes on like Comixology you don't own them. It's like you're renting the comic book. Who the freaking hell wants to rent a comic book?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way when they do digital video games as well. I don't mind buying digital, but there's always that one chance that the company or something will lose the license, and then it becomes unpublished, and then you can't have the game or the comic book, and it's out of your collection. You can't get it back, and you wasted your money, and you can't get a refund. So,
right. Well, that's why I buy them when they're like cheap ass on sale.
And you would like clarification if that's true? Is Martian Manhunter capable of being a match for Superman?
There's
yes.
Oh, sorry, you're taking it.
I believe so.
There is an issue in the Grant Morrison run. It's actually I call it the Grant Morrison run because he's the one that began it.
The JLA
where the Martian Manhunter loses his fear of fire and becomes something different. And Superman says the only person on Earth he's ever been afraid to fight was the Martian Manhunter, because he knew with his powers that he can't beat him.
Yeah. I mean, he has the power to control people, so
he's got mind control, shape-shifting, phasing, super strength. Yeah.
There's a lot of powers he has that I don't know how Superman exactly would combat those abilities.
Exactly. Now,
especially if we're choosing the particular Superman that's basically current Superman.
Yeah, if you're talking about Silver Age Superman, he was grossly overpowered.
Yeah. And even Golden Age Superman was ridiculous.
Well, to a certain point, Golden Age started off actually not being as powerful.
I can't remember which age it was exactly, but the one where they started just like saying, okay, he can basically have whatever power
they wanted Superman to be the most powerful person in the DC universe. So as writers became more creative, hey, we got the Flash. Well, Superman's super fast also. And they just kept adding powers, and some of them were ridiculous because they would come up with a situation and say, hey, I know, let's give him super ventriloquism. That'll solve the problem. And it'd be stupid stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So they just kept adding powers on and on and on and on that he became ridiculous.
If I remember correctly, there was one issue where he broke Infinity.
Yeah.
I overheard that from, I don't remember where it was. It was on someone else's video, but he broke Infinity? I'm like, wait, what?
Well, that was also before everybody was worried about continuity.
Yeah.
So it's just like, let me do this one story and go. It wasn't as important as it is now.
Spider-Man and Superman are incredibly strong, but no real combat training. I would disagree with that. Spider-Man, pretty much yes. Superman, however, no, because the Kryptonians have their own forms of martial arts and self-defense training. So he's gotten all that education through the fortress. So he has combat training. Also, he needed to learn how to handle his powers without breaking everything. So, which requires a lot of mental fortitude on his part.
Hellboy and Swamp Thing are, they're a lot of fun. I like those titles. And for me, of course, Swamp Thing will always be the Alan Moore years. Every time I read a Swamp Thing, I compare it. I don't try to. It's just there now. And, so it's almost kind of ruined me. Did you guys see the Superman cartoon where he fought Manchester Black? Oh, hell yeah.
That was awesome.
The, what is that? Superman versus the Elite. That was really good. And they just brought him back a little bit earlier this year. They brought him back in the Superman title.
Yeah,
very good story.
I've been missing a lot of the Superman comics, and it's actually making me sad because that was my top favorite book so far over the last year or so. It's like it's the best comic book ever.
It's one of
at least currently.
Yeah, I just did that thing where you want to talk about throwing shade. I had to throw shade over whatculture.com for putting America in a top eight comics you should be reading. Here's America. Snicker, snicker, ha ha ha. I wonder how many people will waste their money now. Yeah, so yeah, I figured, let's do an actual 10. I was gonna wait for the end of the year, but I'll redo it, because even though I have it in a top 10 format, it's not really in any kind of order.
Right.
But those are actually all good books. So yeah, I know. America should not be in any top 10 that starts with the word best.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Neither should Secret Empire.
Top 10 best books to roast on YouTube.
That's the only list where she should be.
Huzzah! Yeah,
that I agree. There you go. You have your next video idea.
Yeah. Actually, that wouldn't be too bad.
Go for it, man. I'll let you take it.
Dude, you'll let me take. I was about to say you should do it. It's your idea there, man.
No.
Clone Conspiracy was the one to go, oh my gosh, yeah, the dead again. Oh, what the freaking hell is that?
I don't understand that at all. I was
nominated. Oh, I'm sorry. Go.
My first Spider-Man comic was from the original Clone Saga, and everybody loves roasting that comic book to no end and complaining about how bad it is, but I enjoyed parts of it, but still, at the same time, considering how bad how convoluted it was, and how terrible a market left on the company and on Spider-Man in general, it's like, why would you even bring it back?
I know. That was my one. It's nominated for most confusing storyline. Is Dead Again Clone Conspiracy. It's one of those nominated. So don't forget to go to the channel and vote for worst comics. We're doing the Gabbies. If you guys haven't heard yet, I've got an award show coming on October 1st. It's called the Gabbies, the god-awful bummer books. But somebody said, why didn't you just name it Bad Book? Oh, yeah, because I'm not that creative. But yeah, it's just like the Oscars. We got 17 categories. I'm going to change them for some of them for next year. But one of them is most confusing storyline, and Dead Again, the Clone Conspiracy is one of them. And what's funny is people would vote for the nominees and they would give little comments, and America got nominated for most confusing storyline. And it was like, America's the most confusing storyline because I don't know. Does it have a storyline?
That doesn't seem like it does. Go read Kraven's Last Hunt, then come back. I've already read Kraven's Last Hunt. It's a fantastic book. Go read it.
It's incredible.
I love that one.
It's one of, if not the best Spider-Man story
I didn't originally get to read it in its original format, but I got to read it in trade.
I'm an originalist. I like Eddie Brock. Everybody after that has been just trying to get Venom to be a hero rather than a villain. And so, yeah, I like the Eddie Brock version of
you like it when he's more of an anti-Venom, or not anti-Venom, anti-hero.
Yeah, well, I like him when he's a villain.
He worked. I think in his best format, he works best when he's the villain, but he hasn't been the villain for a very long time, and I think pretty much everybody now just looks at him as the anti-hero. I mean, I like Eddie, the original, but if I were to... I only read a couple of comics like back in the 90s when he had his own stuff like Lethal Protector. But if I were to pick one, I would... I kind of liked Flash Thompson as Venom. That's a good story. Yeah, it's Venom trying to be a hero, but I mean, there seem to be some good storylines in it, and I only got to read one issue before my old comic shop closed, and I loved that issue. Covers were awesome. The books were good until they started doing stupid stuff like trying to make the symbiotes not crazy and whatnot. And I was like, okay, now you're just kind of losing your mind in general. You're just kind of going down a weird road. I'm not following.
I want to know, when you screamed out loud, Jay, about Killing Joke, was that for good reasons or bad reasons?
Killing Joke's an interesting story. You know what's actually kind of...
I liked it.
I think what's actually kind of funny is that... what was it? I know that some of us probably watch Razor Fist and whatnot. I remember one time he actually did an entire rant on Alan Moore. said that Alan Moore didn't like The Killing Joke, he's like, well, that's fantastic. Neither did I. Because it's an origin story with no origin. I was like, really? Okay, that's interesting concept.
I loved it. But here's something else. I went to see the Killing Joke movie in the theaters.
Yeah.
And the thing is I read the write-up here said it's the Killing Joke movie and other shorts. So I'm like, oh, okay, so we're going to get some sort of cartoon with the Killing Joke. That's fine. Maybe it'll be before, maybe it'll be after. So it starts up, and it's the Batgirl. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, okay, so it's a Batman short or a Batgirl short.
Okay, yeah.
And so I'm watching this, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Because this is just a separate cartoon to me. So I watch it. Of course, the weird Batman screws Batgirl thing comes up, and I was like, oh, okay, well, that's not right. But otherwise, I think I'm the only person who really enjoyed that because to me it was completely separate from the Killing Joke.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you were to have cut that out from the Killing Joke and just gave the Killing Joke, a lot of people probably wouldn't have even complained very much at all.
Well, that's the thing. See, I didn't. Now it's on DVD, and I can see how everybody else saw it. Like one whole movie, but I didn't see it that way. I saw it, okay, they have a half-hour Batgirl short, and now the movie's starting. So when I first saw it, I did not put the two together because the write-up said that it was two different cartoons.
Right.
So I thought, okay, well, they just started the movie. So I didn't think it was anything to add, and I thought, oh, okay, well, yeah, that's fine. And so I come out, I'm like, oh, I love the Killing Joke. The Killing Joke's great. And everybody else is talking about how bad it is. I'm like, okay, I guess and then I realized that was exactly what happened is I went in thinking it had nothing to do with the Killing Joke.
When in reality,
just a cartoon to make us feel, when in reality it was the beginning of the Killing Joke. I was like, oh, okay, well, you guys should have watched it with me. You would have had a lot more fun. Everybody needs a friend like me. Is Captain Marvel really a tranny? No, but they're drawing her like one.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
It's just getting bad. It really is.
As someone with at least some acronym for artistic skill, when I see bad art in a comic book, it can really bring it down. I mean, I already did the Robotech comic review. Issue 2 came yesterday, and the review for that will be coming later this week. And I can't stand the art style in the book. It's like you pick the most bottom tier possible guy. He can draw, like technology and battleships and robots really pretty well, but ask him to draw a human face, and apparently he's all thumbs for some reason. Because it's like, why does everybody look like they got beat with an ugly stick and their expressions look really weird and bizarre?
That's how Captain Marvel's being drawn nowadays. It's disgusting to me, but that's what they want. I actually enjoyed the Justice League Dark film also, Jay. I thought that was pretty good.
I haven't seen that. The only DC film I recently saw, I think, were the two Teen Titan related ones. The Teen Titans versus Justice League and
the Judas Contract.
And the Judas Contract. Both were pretty good. I enjoyed them. So
Walt Simonson and John Byrne all the way, Mr. Frank the Werewolf. Give us some Simonson Frog Thor and Fantastic Four. With that's some awesome books. I love the fact that people say we don't like diversity. When people like Frank and I were like, it's awesome, Thor's a frog. How much more diverse can you get than changing Thor into a freaking frog?
I mean, if you want to
that is awesome.
I got into that argument too. It's like someone said that I was threatened by a woman being given charge. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't really give a rat's ass.
Here you go. I'm going to give you a really strong debating tactic that you can use next time the drunken idiots come up. And it comes like this. What they do is they do stuff like that. Well, obviously hate this because you don't like women because you don't like Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Just look at him and go, okay, already you've lost whatever we're talking about because you have assigned a motive to me and now you're talking about the motive you've assigned. Right. So you're not even having the same conversation as me.
Yeah.
I'm talking about bad writing. I'm talking about bad art. And if you want to talk about bad writing and bad art, we will.
Right.
If you want to project your hatred of women on me, That's you. You're talking to yourself. I did that with somebody today. They said, well, obviously you think the women suck. No, I hope women suck. There's a difference there. But I shut them down. I'm sorry, but as soon as you assume something of me rather than asking, you have lost, because you're no longer talking about the same thing. So anytime they start up, just say that, but let them start up. Don't go to them.
Right. It's best I don't.
Yeah, because they are definitely not worth it. Yeah, Jay, you may be a drunk idiot right now, but they're professionally drunk idiots, and there's a difference.
Yep.
Arkham Asylum, dude. The one scene that really gets me on that one is if anybody hasn't read this, you should. It's Batman goes in. One of the scenes, he confronts the Mad Hatter, and he's never been like this before. But the Mad Hatter all of a sudden reveals why he's interested in Alice, and he just likes little girls, and that stuck. I mean, right up to what was it, Batman Origins, when he kidnaps in the game, he kidnaps a girl and she's left there crying.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that is one of the creepiest scenes in any comic book I've ever seen. It's amazing.
Yeah. I think that.
Hold on just a sec. I gotta see. Apparently, and I have not noticed this because I've never met him before, but Jay is keeping tracks on how many women I've banged.
This is new
I would
information.
like to know exactly. Yeah, because apparently he knows that his number is larger than mine. To know where he's getting his information, I don't know. But no, it's no, but yeah, it's definitely one of the creepiest scenes in any comic book, and that is one of the must reads.
There are many books.
You know what? That's a. Oh, you should check that one out. Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, Cummings keeps track. He actually, since birth, he's been asking. Yo, England teen, how many women you bang? So. I tripped somebody up today with Captain Marvel. They kept harping, she's a woman thing. And I began switching to details about DC's Captain Marvel, and I enjoyed telling
them they were.
That's funny. Start talking about Captain Marvel, the golden age, and have them lose their freaking minds.
Probably they're like, what is this person arguing about? I'm lost.
No, Captain Marvel, turns into a guy, big man, it's really cool. Yeah.
Originally a 10-year-old child.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I've noticed something, and this is a theory, though.
Even name dropping Shazam didn't get them to notice.
Holy Toledo, really? I mean, that's his modern day name.
Oh, that's just funny.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Omnitron.
I appreciate the rating there, Jay. But I noticed, and this is just a theory I have about these assistant editors and the reason why it's so easy for them to replace characters, and Nick Spencer too.
Yeah.
They have no sense of history as far as the comics are concerned.
Right.
I did a video back a while back, and I was going to do another one, but just some guy beat me to the punch, and I really hate stepping on y'all's toes.
Yeah.
Because I know diversity sometimes does that to me, and I recognize the damage. What up, Frugal? See, where I'll put out a video and then the next day, and it'll be doing well. Then the next day, Diversity will do the same video, and then my views just drop. And I never want to do that to you guys. So just some guy just released a Why It Matters video. Well, I did one, and I wanted to update it.
Right.
And one of the things I wanted to talk about and really nail is the editors today have no sense of history with the characters.
Yeah.
They're hired from other places. They're fans from the movies.
Yeah.
And they might be fans of the comics now, but I will guarantee you that was their end.
Yeah.
So they don't understand. To them, these weren't where people went for solace. I mean, comic books have been a place where people could go if they're picked on. They find, well, I can be like this guy. If the family life is not good, they can lose themselves in the book. And I was just explaining to somebody before we got on, because he was talking about, well, if I don't like a writer, I don't tell him. It's not easy with comics to ignore, because we don't gravitate to writers. We gravitate to characters.
Yeah.
Spider-Man makes you feel better. Batman makes you feel more empowered. And that's why it matters that they're getting rid of classic characters, because to some of these people, they were the anchor. If things went wrong, they always had Thor. If things went wrong, they always have Spider-Man. If things went wrong, they always had Logan Wolverine.
Yeah.
But now it doesn't matter, because these editors have no history with the characters.
I remembered when just some guy did that video, and I watched it, and it was like, I think it's like a day or so before a funeral I was supposed to go through, and it made me sad. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much what you hit the nail on the bloody head. There's no sense in expanding on that particular point. Mm-hmm. So.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to shut things down here, but I mean, if you've got an opinion, but it's just something that I realized when we're talking about the editors. And I don't think, and here's the thing, I don't think that they're doing things maliciously.
Probably not. They're probably not intending to cause as much harm and damage as they are, but I mean, when diversity in comics and coming start, throwing shade or start asking certain questions that, get them all riled up and they get bent out of shape. Which I commend them for doing that, because you have to ask questions just so long as you're
obviously, yes.
I mean, I can be snarky and I can be a little bit of an ass as well, but I've always tried to at least ask the questions that I think are important. And when initially I had never talked to comic book creators before this, and I think it was like last year after the Hail Hydra and the Sam Wilson stuff, and it was a few months later, and Spencer's like running off at the mouth and talking crap, and I was like, well, I hate to point this out to you, Nick, but your comics really are not selling very well in comparison to, well, what you should probably be selling, considering the time and frame of when you announced the book. We've got Civil War II. You have a brand new Steve Rogers Captain America, and you had the Captain America Civil War. You had the prime opportunity to get everybody to buy a comic book, especially if you're going for that movie audience. And it's like, at the end of the first issue, it's like Hail Hydra, and it's like, oh, well, you just broke the internet and pissed everyone off. Congratulations. And then after 3 issues, you've pretty much dropped off the face of the map.
Well, remember, Tom. Oh,
go ahead.
Tom Brevoort did once say that angry fans are engaged fans, so it's good to make fans angry. And the problem with the New 52 and the way that DC was focusing on the older characters, the things like Kyle Rayner, he had been Green Lantern for 10 years.
Yeah.
And worse than that, Wally West was Flash for 20. There's an entire generation of people who had no idea what a Barry Allen was.
Right.
So when they made the switch over and completely wiped out Wally West, they completely wiped out somebody's Flash.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about the drunken idiots. They were talking about, well, nobody complained about when Barry Allen took over the Flash, and nobody could. Yeah, they freaking did.
Yeah, actually,
they complained when Wally West took it. Hell yeah, they did.
I remember somebody doing something similar to that. I think he was a friend of theirs. And I did an entire video talking about fan outrage. I'm like, this has been going on for decades now. This is not new. The only difference now is that we have Twitter, and writers are far more accessible to talk to now than ever before. That's the only difference. Is now they have to contend with it in person, or, well, not in person, through online messages.
Yeah, it's immediate. Yeah. Are you talking about single issue, Jay, or are you talking about like a series? I'm actually going to be making a video, top 10 single issues. Of course, I mean, that's a list you could do 5 or 6 different times. But yeah, I'm actually working on something like that. If I were to talk about, you know what? I'll talk about one of the best, because it's really hard to pin down the absolute best comic.
Yeah.
But here you go.
It's subjective.
This is going to be on the list that I'm about to make. Thing issue number 4 from the 80s. You have a story where Crystal and Quicksilver have a daughter, and she's not displaying any powers, and they're talking about putting her through the Terrigen Mists. So she would have some superpowers. Quicksilver does not want a normal human daughter because he's a little arrogant, and he wants him to be wants to have a superpowered or mutant daughter. And at one point, he says, they're talking about, she goes through the Terrigen Mist. Anything can happen. This can happen. That can happen. And he says, well, anything is better than this. And he's talking about her being a normal human.
Yeah.
And then Lockjaw says, even better than me. Freaking floored me because Lockjaw never spoke before. And what he was saying is that he is an Inhuman.
Yeah.
He went through the Terrigen Mist and all of a sudden became the Inhuman's dog.
Yeah.
And it was just one panel. Just like me. And it was just like, boom, jaw drops. And all of a sudden it comes up to you that, holy Toledo, this is an actual character. This is a person who it all went wrong for. I mean, sure, he's a teleporting dog, but he's a teleporting dog. Yeah. When you're standing next to Black Bolt, who's the most powerful Inhuman, or Medusa, who still gets to be beautiful. And it was just floored. And then I was so disappointed when they retconned it to turn Lockjaw back into his dog, because basically the Inhumans were treating him like a dog, and they didn't want to seem like, But that one book, that one panel even, was one of the most powerful things I'd ever read.
That was a good one.
Yeah. I highly recommend, even though I just spoiled the crap out of it, I still recommend everybody read it because it's a great story. That whole run, The Thing, from the 80s, that's just a really good run. So, yeah.
Well, I don't, sadly for me, I don't have entire runs on books and whatnot, so it's really hard for me to pick favorites. I think that there's one run that I have where I have the entire set, and it was after Annihilation, when Annihilus came back, and I loved Nova. So I started to pick up the Nova books. I'm like, this seems like a cool character. I want to read this. And I loved all the way through. I have every single issue, and I never want to give them up. Because I think, Dan Abnett is like one of my favorite current writers that write stuff. And he's been doing pretty well at DC now, too. So all bonuses, considering some of my favorite books are written by him. So,
Frank's bringing up God Loves, Man Kills. It's an X-Men graphic novel that it should be required reading.
Yeah.
For comic book fans. It's just, what? That's a video I need to do also, required reading for comic book fans. But one thing that really gets this, I don't know if you guys pay attention to Twitter like we do, but we're talking to Nick Spencer, and Nick Spencer goes through this entire thing about, well, they had politics in the past. Why are you pissed off that I'm doing politics? And he even brought up God Loves, Man Kills. And I said, all you're doing is reminding us of how politics were done correctly.
Yeah. Or where comic books are more focused on philosophy-related things opposed to...
Yeah, I like that. That was Weaponized Nerd did that.
Yeah, that was really
thing. It was really tight.
Because I mean, if you think about old like DC characters, or even some of the current characters that like Marvel has done, or not current, but all their stuff, it's like all of that stuff is pretty much philosophical. It's basing things off of old mythologies like Hercules or the Iliad or Beowulf. They pick and choose certain things. It's just modern mythology is that's what it is now. That's also the reason why they don't just cut off the books and say, nope, we're not going to do any more comic books anymore, because humans, I guess,
I love Henry Gurich.
Because humans have a need for that type of storytelling, mythology.
As Frank says here in the comments, he said because it was subtle, and he's right. Now,
Yeah.
God Loves Man Kills wasn't incredibly subtle because it's definitely an anti-bigotry, an anti-racist. But the thing is what they would do is they would lay the politics on the table, and you have the option of picking them up. The modern day, thanks to Twitter, I think also, what they do is this is the way you should be.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, and if you're not like this, then you're a bad person. And then, of course, if you ever meet them, they back that up with their own conversations. Anyone got the link to jump on live chat? Are any of you two familiar with Ben 10? That's a little bit younger than me.
I've seen some of it.
I remember.
It's not my particular cup of tea, but I know there's a lot of kids who really like it.
Can you fit in the DC Comics universe? My rule is if you have a good writer, anybody can fit. Neil Gaiman once rewrote a character called Prez from the 1960s, and it was a really good story, and it felt like it was just updated and modernized perfectly. So, yeah, with the right writer, any character can be brought back.
Yeah. This is a true fact.
Twitter, you are correct about that, Frank. Twitter is for – I remember the day of the milkshakes. I ended up spending 12 hours on Twitter. I did not get a video done or anything. It was just straight up, oh, motherfucker. I lost myself. It's like I never will react that way again.
Let's see. Jay, if you want to get in and talk to us, you are welcome to. Just send me a DM through Twitter. I'll send you the link if you want to. If you want to join in or not, it's up to you.
What, did we lose Frugal?
I don't know. He hasn't been in the chat. Maybe he left. Maybe needed to take care of the kids or something.
Yeah. Like Dial H for Hero. Now I'm sorry. I keep pimping out my videos, man. Please, dude, Omnitron, go after this, of course, because we've got to give Wolf here his due. But go to my page and look up. What did I call that video? How I got addicted to comic books. Because I tell a story about my first comic, which was an adventure comics. It was the restarting of the Dial H for Hero, and I go through the first issue and such. That I made. It's really cool. If you're into old comics, if you're an old man like me, it's got a really good nostalgia vibe. I know that's kind of weird to say, but yeah. Well, no, it does. It's got a. I'm sorry, but I like to watch that video sometimes because it just makes me remember, and I don't know. It's like patting myself on the back. I sound really stupid. Stop me now, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, that's just really sad. So did Frugal make? Hey, Shajan, how's it going? The old men crew. So where do you fall in the old man crew, Shajan? Am I saying that right? I pronounce everything wrong. I got. Golden and Silver Age. What's your favorite Golden Age, Omnitron? I'm huge into Captain Marvel, and I like the old Green Hornet.
Okay, that should be sent to Jay. I hope. It worked before. It'll work again. And now I'm in wrong place at wrong time. I'm now in front of my thing. I didn't want to do that. Okay, so I'm back fully.
All righty, cool deal. So Jay Garrick is Flash. Those are some good books. Definitely. Captain Marvel. I mean, Captain Marvel to me is the pinnacle of Golden Age.
That probably
those are just so damn fun to read. Oh,
they should really bring it back. They should really bring back the Billy Batson Captain Marvel, because that would probably be the greatest like kids related comic book you could possibly sell to a younger audience.
You like the Alan Scott Green Lantern, Mr. Frugal? Well, you can't argue with that. I mean, just actually a lot of the DC anthology books were pretty good. Oh, and one time I did a review of the Western, It's on my Patreon, as a matter of fact, that came after Superman, because it's like following the Beatles. Nobody remembers the Western that came after the first appearance of Superman in Action Comics #1. It's just one of those things. It's like all you know about Action Comics #1 is that there's a Superman story, but it's actually an anthology book. So there's like 6 or 7 other stories in that thing. Name one. I did a review of a Western. I couldn't tell you what the name is right now. I read this kind of thing.
Comics. I have seen I don't think I've read a lot of them, but I know that for a while Marvel was publishing some old Western characters. Like I think it was like maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, like the Phantom Stranger or something to that nature.
No, Phantom Stranger's DC.
I
remember.
I don't remember.
Jack Kirby
Phantom
did Kid Colt.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jack Kirby did Kid Colt and such like that. I agree. JSA does need to make a return to Rebirth.
I think they will be soon. I'm pretty sure, considering they've been hinting at it for a long time, because they were showing. We've had a bunch of characters.
And yes. Yeah, we really enjoyed doing the Jack Kirby month. The videos got low views, but it was right up until the point where we did the Stan versus Jack video. Jack Kirby videos just tanked. Nobody was interested in that. We were, and we had a good time.
I wish I would have done a video about Jack Kirby, but since I don't have a lot of experience or knowledge with his stuff, I didn't want to step on anybody else's toes.
Okay, otherwise, Frank, were you Marvel or were you DC? He's pointing out the fact that, yes, when we were kids, it really was divided. You were either a DC kid or you were a Marvel kid, but everybody was an X-Men kid.
Yeah.
That's just the way it was. You would
Jay.
primarily...
He's mate, you all right?
Welcome,
hello.
sir.
Now then, old man comics, are you?
Are we the only Americans that are in this group? Everybody you bring on has an accent.
Dude,
am I the only one who does that?
Dude, you know the thing was though.
Y'all talk
podcast. You thought I was speaking in Irish, when in actuality I was speaking normal.
Where do you come from exactly, Jay? I didn't get a chance to ask.
I live in England, but I'm like I say, I'm half Irish, but I live in a place called Leeds.
Ah, okay, cool, cool. I love meeting people from across the pond.
You know what it is? I love talking to anybody with any different nationality, any background, as long as they have a passion for something like you lot. I enjoy your podcasts and tweets about comics and that, because I'm into that stuff. I've been into it since a very young age, and I get what loads of people are on about, SJWs, but
thank you for watching the Kirby videos, Cap.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Frugal's in chat. Hail Frugal. He is a god. He's a pimp. You know what it is? The greatest plot twist in the world is when he finally takes off his mask, and we find out it's Captain Cummings all along.
Yeah, that would be really funny. I was both Marvel and DC, but I was actually more of a DC. But like I read a lot of both, and for a while I worked at some comic shops. So if you work at a comic shop, you're not getting paid.
Yeah.
How much do you get paid at a comic shop over it? It's pretty good wage.
Dude, not back then. When I was
is this like 100 years ago?
Yeah, just about. I was when I was a kid.
Back when dinosaurs roamed the earth.
It was like $3.80. So yeah, it was. We weren't getting paid a lot. But the thing is, here's the thing though: the comic books were only 50 cents. They were only, I remember when they got bumped up to 75, and we were losing our minds. So even though we were being paid less, we could actually afford more per dollar. So
There will be another mask under the mask, and another mask under that mask.
There will be who's it going to be? Switch Point. Who's it going to be underneath the mask? My money's on Switch Point, aka Switch Nips.
No, Captain Frugal said that there would be another mask under his mask.
Okay, I'm going to toss out a little politics. What is this? Omnitron says half Irishman, half Muskogee Native American. Okay, here's something I've always wondered. Why is it proper to, if we're thinking, okay, well, you know, you want to show respect, how is it respectful to name a people after their conquerors?
You know, this is where you're going into
Indian seems noble, because I remember it's from Columbus. He said they were Indios, which I believe is of God, and the word Indian was derived from that. And what we did was, well, you're native, which nobody's native to this. They came across the Bering Strait. And American, which we just named you after the people who slaughtered your people. So I never understood the whole Native American thing. But what do you think about that, Omnitron, if you're saying you're Native American? Sometimes I've got crazy theories and such, and everybody else went quiet, so obviously they're afraid to talk about this. So
I'm not afraid. You know what I tweet about. You know me. I have no filter, but you know what it is. Some of the stuff I've been seeing on social media about people saying, "Oh, let's get out of my country." Basically, you come to that country on slave ships and all the rest from Europeans, and they come to what you call America now, what really war to do with the Native Americans. That were their lands. You come over there, you took rape, pillage, and disease, and you have a right to say that's your land. And you celebrate this thing called Thanksgiving. What have you got to be thankful for? Your ancestors slaughtered how many people?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. According to my dad, according to him and his ancestry, I am part Native American. Very small amount, considering that my mom is half German and Dutch.
Dutch women, love them.
What?
Dutch women, you can't beat them.
She's a lovely lady. Love her to bits.
Here's my whole view on the thing. If you look at a map of Indian tribes and what lands they controlled, you'll see some tribes control what we would call like many states.
Right.
How do you think they got that? How do you think they controlled that? By slaughtering the out of the people who were there first. What happened was, the white people came across, and we showed them how to war properly.
Yeah. That's
they were already warring. They were already warring for land.
Yeah, they were.
The people
and brought diseases and everything along with them. And
but hey, you know what? It's the same thing. It's the same. Well, that's going to happen to anything. I mean, it's like when you travel to a different country, you got to get inoculated because
it's like in Ireland. It's like in Ireland's where my bloodline's from as well. It's like they got told, no, you can't speak Gaelic over there because we don't understand it and we don't like it. It's like, why will you tell somebody to stop speaking a language that's so fluent and a beautiful language?
Yeah. When I go to Thailand, I had to get shot up with all sorts of stuff, just, so I didn't get any kind of diseases that they're used to over there.
Dude, we had the biggest disease on this planet, this first facts. We are, humans are, we've raped, pillaged, taken granted of this planet, and everybody's on about that hurricane. I'm not trying to trigger anybody if you want to give me a sense of asshole about it, but yeah, everybody's saying these hurricanes is about, it's God sending a message. No, because we pollute the ecosystem too much, with the oxygen, and to do with fucking climate change.
They've been happening forever and a day.
There's always been storms. There's always going to be earthquakes. There's always going to be something. For me,
comics. I've never seen an I Like Comics. When I chose the name I Love Comics, I actually Googled it to make sure that nobody else had it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's an I Like.
I think that the one thing that
calling you Old Man Comics for some reason. I got to give people nicknames these days.
Oh, that's fine.
That's
fine.
The one thing I know about humans, or at least how I view people in general, it's like I know we have the capacity to do a lot of good things, a lot of great things, but we also have the capacity to murder and kill one another, sometimes indiscriminately, sometimes discriminately. And people always complain about, look at how oppressed, this minority group is in the States. And I'm like, could you maybe go across to Africa, where they've been at civil wars one another for generations?
Nobody's oppressed in the United States. Nobody is oppressed.
Africa is the heart of where everything originates from. That That is the cradle.
That's actually they found there's older bones in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
That happened. I don't know if it was earlier this year or last year, but they found older bones now in Europe. So the first man's not in Africa anymore.
It's
from Europe then.
Yep.
Where everything originates from.
Yeah.
See, well, that's the thing. I don't. When the problem is, they're always going into. How are they going to find the oldest? So the only thing they could say is the oldest right now. What we know right now is. I don't know.
And the rewritten history saying dinosaurs had feathers.
Yeah.
It's like if you want to see an actual dinosaur, just look out the window. You see a bird. That's a dinosaur right in front of you.
Well, that's what we used to say about alligators, so why not? I agree with Robert E. Howard said once, people lost their barbarian spirit to go out and right wrongs. Take a sword and do something with your life. Fight some bears in your underwear.
I've not lost that mentality. I just don't really care what comes out of my gob. I have a filter here and there. I'm being nice and calm. I'm not
one of the 2% female Real Comics fan.
We have two.
Hello, Marania.
We have two.
How are you?
Part of the 2% female comic book community. Welcome.
Yeah, okay, everybody.
You have females in this chat.
Apparently,
everybody act like a comic fan in the '80s when a female walks into the shop.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
You just do what?
Start mumbling under your breath.
I don't. Help me out here, guys. I don't know how to talk to girls. Help me.
Yeah. I got news for you. That never happened.
I'll sort you out a couple of women there and then.
that never happened. It never happened.
No.
We weren't like, oh my gosh, what's that? A girl? You know, I don't understand that. Where did that come from?
Americans are fucked. No offense to that. I mean it in a good way.
That's actually one of the things I'd like to point out is I always hear those horror stories like, oh, I was treated so horribly. I'm a girl. I was treated horribly in a comic book shop, or I wanted to learn D&D and, people were mean. I'm like, I've never heard that before. I actually was like, let's see. Last year I went to a anime convention and I would guarantee you over 90% of the entire group of people who were there were girls. I kid you not. I felt outnumbered. And not in a bad way.
Well,
so it's like, why is this I don't understand this at all. And I've had friends in the past who were girls who liked nerd-related stuff, video games, comic books. It wasn't a new thing to me. So it's like, when I hear someone say it, I'm like, is this new? Did I miss a memo? Where's my memo pad?
Because back in the day before our culture becomes so popular, when a girl walks into like a comic book shop, that's your temple right there. That's your sanctuary, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But we didn't act like they were. We weren't like the He-Man Woman Haters Club. You gotta go. It was okay. Well, wow. There's a girl.
It's weird to me. When I say sorry to cut you off. Then keep going.
I was about to say when I was that guy who, if a girl walked in, I would talk to her because that at the time that was a unicorn.
You're a pimp.
If she's a pretty girl in the 80s, is a unicorn. So don't walk away from that. Treat nice, talk, maybe go out. You might find a nice girlfriend that likes comic books and sci-fi.
The funniest
hold on,
thing, though,
guys, we're talking about women in comics. We've got one right here, and she's trying to talk to us. Well, female comic book fans are usually pegged as SJW manga loving. I cannot stand anime at all. I love old school artists like Colin and Tuska. You are cool. Are you 47? No, I'm just kidding.
No, the thing with me though, when every time
I feel a little.
What I'm into, it's like when I say, "Oh yeah, I like comics like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff." Someone to what looks like me, what boxes and stuff like that. They look at me like I just shot the family and stuff like that. But it's like half of these people now have embraced it and stuff. It's like, oh, it's just what John likes doing.
Really, you're older than 47. I'm not the old man here. I'm not the old one. Yeah.
You're still an old bastard to me.
Well, I'm an old bastard to everybody but one. I understand that.
Instead, now it's an old lady.
That's fine.
Hello, how are you doing? You all right?
Just so long as we don't ask for her age, we will be fine and we will be safe.
Look at that. I'm only 28.
Once you get to a certain age, it's also like, yeah, I don't care what you think. Yeah, I mean, I got news for you. You know that whole thing about old man with socks and sandals?
Yeah.
It's because of two reasons. One, it feels good, and two, fuck you. That's why they like to wear it. Because it's comfortable.
Oh yeah, the Conan went dark off. So I've got the what is it?
And they're decent books too.
No, I wouldn't get the omnibus. You know, the big F off one. What's like 200 quid. Well, I picked up the trade, the omnibus, Birth of a Legend, Volume 1, and that's a great read. That.
Socks and sandals.
If you don't,
hold on, let me just get it from.
Okay.
If you don't mind my saying so, I am very surprised I've lasted this long because it really sounds like the pits of hell have opened up outside. No, it's the worst of it is about to hit us here, and it has been
this is what I picked up.
Yeah,
he's going to show us his swag.
Go for it, man.
Such a great read, this. If I can find
Lone Ranger is cool on Dynamite. Yeah, the Lone Ranger books are excellent.
Basically,
for me, Dynamite.
Too bad they ruined the Shadow currently.
Oh, that's nice.
That's cool.
That is.
It's a good read, man.
Well, I don't think they ruined the Shadow. Not with the last issue. They definitely are not going in a direction that's good if they continue. But
no,
it wasn't ruined. It was not a bad issue. It's just a bad page.
Yeah. Although I think that it is a little weird of the Shadow talking about a shooter's white privilege. That was a little weird.
Yeah. One thing we are
Batman in the Shadow was good. That one was good.
Batman in the Shadow is brilliant. If you guys have not picked up Batman in the Shadow, wait for it for the trades. Get it. It is a very strong story.
Is it a good read then?
I read the first issue. Yes. It was really good.
Yes.
I don't really like picking up single issues. I like picking up the trades or the omnibus is there and then so I don't have to fuck around waiting a couple of weeks for the next issue and that.
This is very true, Marinea. Actually, Batman is pretty much a straight ripoff of the Shadow, at least in his first appearance.
It actually is.
Yeah, he's a straight ripoff.
Well, he's a couple of people. He's the Shadow. He's Douglas Fairbanks and Zorro. So he's got a couple of daddies.
Well, yeah, but his first appearance that was written in Detective Comics was actually a straight panel-to-panel ripoff of one of the Shadow's pulps. That wasn't written by the original creator. It's the only reason why the original creator didn't throw a
has anybody seen the sorry to go off the subject, has anybody seen the It remake yet?
No.
Not yet.
I'm not big into horror films. So.
Dude, oh my God, they did it justice. I love the original, but they nailed it.
Yeah, well, the original suffers.
No one can beat Tim Curry's It. I don't care. No one can beat it.
Maranya is a pirate.
Oh, no.
She is a pirate. Horror. She is the Pirate King.
Or would it be Pirate Queen? Or does it really matter?
I just know the song. It's Pirate King. So, yeah, I'll give it to her. Yeah. She tis. Now the freaking song's in my head. I shouldn't have done that.
The original TV show scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, read the book. Me as a kid. The book, bloody hell, the book is just.
I love the book. I read that as a kid over and over. That book got me fired for sexual harassment.
What, really?
Yeah. I read it. Now I like the book. I like the themes. The scary parts are good, but sometimes Stephen King goes overboard. And I'm sitting there reading it, and I just laughed out loud. And the girl that I'm working with asked me, what are you laughing at? And I said, he's a good writer, but sometimes he just puts down a sentence that is just hilarious.
Yeah.
And she goes, "What's the sentence?" So I read it. Sliding into her was like sliding into an exquisite oil. That is such a bad line.
And out of context, that's just terrible.
So this girl who asked me what I was laughing at went upstairs and said that I tried to seduce her.
Oh my goodness!
Did it work?
I would hope that I would use a better line than that if I was ever to try to pick somebody up.
I can picture Knight in my head now getting his little notebook and pen on this, writing this little line.
Dear Penthouse, I was working in a movie theater one night.
I'll be sure to use that line in the future.
But anyway, bro, when's the next Gundam Wing video coming out? Gameplay?
My next Gundam video?
Yes, I need that in my life right now.
You need more Gundam stuff? Well, let's see. I finally got at least a vote for another comic book review, so we're going to be doing Gundam Lost War Chronicles, but I need to reread that before we get to that. I haven't had a lot of opportunity to work on Gundam-related videos.
Have a good day, Eclectic.
Bye. Because, well, last week and whatnot, funerals and whatnot kind of got in the way, and I wasn't in the mood. I did play. No, it's cool and all, but I had to. I recorded a bunch of the new Gundam Versus related stuff. I did a little bit of recording, so I do first impressions, but then my friend reminded me, it's like, that there's like a limitation to what you can show and whatnot, and you don't probably want to piss off Namco Bandai. So I was like, you're probably right. I'm probably already on their list.
Do you collect the figures where you build your own little Gundam robots? What costs like?
I do build.
How long does it actually take, the process of building one? A couple of hours.
It depends on the model kit. If you're talking about the smaller versions, it could take I've seen guys who are really good at building and they barely even need the instruction manual. They just great, browse the thing and they're like, oh, I got this, bang, bang. And they're done within an hour. Me, I take a little bit more time than that.
It's just somewhat what I've thought about picking up the little models of Warhammer, painting them and stuff.
Yeah.
Because every time I have an anxiety attack on the night time and that, I just thought, something to take my mind off and shit.
A Gundam model kit really isn't that complicated or difficult to do. The instructions are easy to read. If you had a favorite mobile suit and whatnot, just find it, pick it up, and then you got a figure that you can just hang on your desk or on a platform somewhere.
There's too many mobile suits, so I've seen people, big collectors as well, pay £100 or £200 and stuff like that for these model kits, and just sit there for hours building it. It's like, wow. It's like me with gaming and stuff. It's like, where does the time go?
Yeah. It can be time consuming. I'll tell you that much. It's
like at the end of this month, I'm getting a 1080 GTX, and I've already got triple monitors staring at in front of me. And I use them for when I'm gaming up front, on PC gaming.
Is it wrong for you to want to just have Mobile Fighter G Gundam in the new Gundam games? No, you're not wrong. But sadly, they were not in the beta for Versus. They're probably going to be DLC, which is sad.
Where's Frugal going?
Frugal's here. He's here.
Frugal's here.
Frugal.
They're talking about comics on the chat.
Yeah, they're talking about comics in the chat while I'm talking about model kits.
I can't even tell you what a fucking Gundam is.
You know what it is. You know what Captain Frugal is equivalent of is a sexual wank pheasant. That's what Frugal is.
Are you saying pheasant or trying to say peasant?
Wank pheasant.
Pheasant,
like a bird.
Bird.
Mm-hmm.
Birds.
Like a small bird.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Frugal.
Star Trek communicator. That's kind of neat.
What does that even mean?
Dude, don't ask him the questions, or he'll try to explain it. Frugal.
No, you don't understand my language. That's it, straight up.
Apparently, that's fine.
Dan is leaving. I didn't even get to say hello to Dan. Hello and goodbye, Dan. Have a good one.
Why is people leaving? Is it because what?
It's because you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I jack people's streams and shit.
He's an invader.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Pheasant isn't. Pheasant isn't anything. I don't know.
I'm being good.
Why that's
I'm not swearing much. I'm being
Yeah.
being not like last time.
You're being pretty well behaved. Very chill.
You know what? I really. I wish I could have done this on my channel. Damn.
Why did you link it to your channel as well?
Frugal, I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. Frugal tried to explain to me.
Get that sexual wank pheasant in the stream now.
You do know that has nothing to do with anything. How are you even considering a pheasant a sexual thing?
Frugal.
Other pheasants don't think of pheasants as anything sexual.
No. You get frugal in here,
dude.
Now,
dude, I've got kids. I got kids. I had kids forever. You're not going to give up. I know how to ignore.
I'll go over to that country.
But yeah. Frugal told me how to do this, and I just couldn't do it. I am so surprised that my
followers creeping up to. Do you need a piss bag and a Zimmer for him?
I'm wearing a diaper. I'm good.
If you act too far out of,
you one of them people then.
You act too far out of turn.
It's not because I need it. It's not because I need it. It's just because I like it.
Do you need someone to wipe your ass for you?
I don't need someone, but I'll pay.
You're lazy, man.
If
Thank
Captain
you very much for
join,
catching the ending of the stream there, Mary. I appreciate that because I felt like I was rambling.
Yeah.
And, after I got done saying everything, because you know what, I really wanted, it just killed me. Lynn Wine, man, he died today. And it was like, damn. Because on one hand, like I said, he's not that much older. And two, he's a freaking creator of Wolverine, just died today.
Wait, what?
That's something.
The guy.
Lynn Wine passed a couple hours ago. So, yeah. Moment of silence, and he's the guy who created Wolverine. Yes.
What the originator?
What are we talking about there, Marania? The Superman costume.
What's Frugal?
Should we bring the trunks back? Yes, we should. There's
in this stream, please.
If he asks, I will.
I'll give you a gram right now.
If he wants to be here, I will get right on that.
Frugal, love me. He's probably sat there pissing himself, shaking his head at me.
He's just like, I don't want to be in the stream with this guy.
Marana, you watch our History of Comics specials? We go deep cuts on some of them. I went all the way back to the very on the Patreon. I have I do the very first comic book. For our History of Comics, we go really deep and get no views for it. Did a video on the Yellow Kid, is like people were like, who? So okay. But now we're in the golden age, so we're going to get to people that some have actually heard of.
Has any of you two read Joker? The hold on.
The Brian Azzarello?
The likeness of the Joker in the Christian Bale's version.
Yeah.
Right, let me get it.
Hang on a second, Captain. I will get right on that. Hang on.
Well, I think you've both read it, but this.
Yeah, Oh, I was about to talk to Mary, but you're talking. So go on ahead. What were you saying?
Have you read this?
You're on a delay for me because whatever you've got in your hands, you're just now picking up.
Brian Azzarello, Joker. I think I've seen that before. I've never read it.
I
read it when it first came. Yeah, I read it a long time ago. I thought it was okay. Brian Azzarello, he's a hit and miss for me.
Yeah.
And now Cummings is here. Great.
Cummings, that sexual wank peasant.
Hey, Bubba, how you doing?
Don't look at the beginning of this video.
People said I was throwing shade at you, Captain.
Captain, this
So I
guy
had
said
to
he's
explain to him.
Captain. Yo, Cummings, my man, Old Man Comic said he's gonna send for you for in a video. He's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, I think I pretty much said just the opposite to everybody on Twitter.
He said he's
years
gonna end. Old Man Comics says he's gonna end your YouTube videos career.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
He's gonna send shirts for you. He's gonna send the dogs for you. He's gonna make Switchpoint turn to his bitch instead of yours.
Oh, everybody. Just
Everybody's crazy.
mhm.
And we're getting all the crazy people now. Yay! I love the crazy
They
people.
know I'm in chat. That's why. Frugal.
We're all crazy. Hello.
How are
Hello,
you doing,
Captain.
you sexual wank pheasant?
I swear to God, your porn must just be an ornithology book. Fucking weird.
Dude, we're just a higher caliber of breed of characters over here.
Mhm.
You know, I actually believe that because I've heard so many interesting stories coming from people from just listening to you guys talk and your dialogue and whatnot is enough to say I don't entirely follow what's going on, but I'm intrigued and entertained at the same time.
I feel that was a racist comment.
That actually did
No.
sound racist a bit.
Dying laughing? Well, please don't die.
My old white boy blood is offended.
Please don't die, please. I'm not held accountable for people dying in the stream, and I don't really want to go sin face in front of a judge again.
Good Western comics, yes.
Also on note, do you think there should be more Western comic? Bring back Jonah Hex,
Yes.
written by Jim Palmiotti. Good Lord,
Any
that
good,
needs to
any
be
good?
here now. Absolutely, yes.
More Westerns, please. Yes.
Yeah, but not. Yeah, I agree. Yes, I would love for that to bring back All-Star Western would be cool again. Good writer, like I said, Jimmy Palmiotti to draw. That would be awesome. Good Western comics, but then again, good anything comics would be all right, except for romance. I have never read.
So, what's your lot thoughts on the Venom movie? You think it's actually going to get made, or is it still going to be in development?
It
They
in development.
attached Tom Hardy to it. He's a name, so they may be feeling sure we have to get this done.
Obviously, you got one of the biggest British movie stars in the world. Same with Christian Bale, but he's Welsh. He's not classed as British, so.
Well, yeah. the whole thing with that is that, but I always think this: until we're looking at the movie on the screen, it doesn't count.
Yeah,
But dude,
we'll have to wait.
one of the films I'm looking forward to next year is Jurassic World 2. I am a big fanboy for the Jurassic Park series.
Same. I'm curious to see where they take it from there. Should be interesting.
How awesome was that fucking mosasaur, though? Jumps out of the water. It's like, yeah, I want one in my back garden every time Jehovah's Witness comes knocking on my door. Fucking hell. But how are you anyway, Cap? You all right?
I'm doing good.
Good.
It's been
Did you
a
have fun stream?
How's Mini Frugal
Oh yeah,
doing?
the Rawhide Kid was the very first Iceman because they gave him up so freaking horrible. It was god awful. What the freaking hell were they thinking?
Mommy's
What the hell was that?
decorating.
Is that Death?
Hello,
That was Little
kid.
Frugal.
It's-
Hey, come here. Say
Hello.
hi.
Hi.
Hey, right up here.
Hello.
Okay, watch the language, kids.
Say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, little Frugal, what's going on, my man? What are you doing
What's
tonight?
going on, buddy?
What's going on, buddy?
No, they asked you. They said, "What's going on, buddy? What's
Oh,
going on?"
bless.
I have headphones on. Even
Spider on Mommy's desk.
there's a spider on Mom's desk.
Is it a real one or
That's
did
just-
was it a
Kill
real?
it.
There's a big
That's just extra meat for the food for the stew.
No. Kill it. I don't like them.
Are you asking me to go kill it? Is that what it is?
Yeah, go kill it. I don't like spiders, Frugal.
All right.
Seriously, freak
I will
me
be
out.
right back, guys. I'm gonna go on a mission.
All right.
Alrighty.
We will see you when you return, sir. If you return safely, that is.
If you don't come back in 5 minutes, we're calling police.
That's all good.
You know-
I'll smash it.
Maranya, that's actually the same problem they're having with Iceman. They made Iceman gay out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, even though for the last 50 years he's had none of the stereotypical actions or dialogue, it
Yeah.
just they put him into it now.
There's no reason. It lacks originality. That's my biggest problem with a lot of the new direction that Marvel takes, or even if DC takes these types of actions. It's like, it's lazy. I mean, you have a bunch of people who are probably newer comic book creators that are probably full of good ideas for new characters and whatnot, and you drown them out with stupid ideas like this.
Well,
and it's just plain lazy.
The new buzzword is representation.
Fuck this bitch.
Sorry,
did I say that out loud then?
The new buzzword is representation. So they're saying, oh, well, you know, we have to have everybody represented. But anybody could be represented by ideals or morals.
Or personality.
And they're just saying, they're saying, hey, it's only, we've got to, it's actually segregation. Segregation is coming back, and people are happily traipsing right towards it. It's an amazing thing that's happening right now.
It's insane to me, because I did a video on stuff like that on representation. It's like, you don't need anybody or any character to be your skin color or your sexual identity or your gender. All you need is a good character that you can relate to on a personal level. That's all you need.
That's it. Straight format there. Once somebody finds a character they relate to, and if it's a good story and the artwork captivates people, you will follow that character to the end of the fucking series.
That's the reason why I followed Spider-Man for so long. Dude, is because of that exact reason.
It's like, I can relate to him. Hellboy is my thing. It's dark, it's gritty, it's got humour. The dude should fit in over here in England. And I followed it from, I've got all the library editions, BPRD. I've got Hellboy in Hell.
Spider?
Yeah, it was. That thing was like 2.5 inches long.
I've seen some of those guys around. Oh.
Jesus. Yeah, it's that time of the year, isn't it? They're all trying to find a nice little house to...
I think in my house, my mom has so far squashed at least 2 or 3 of them.
Hell, at my mum's house, bloody hell, I've got a loft bedroom, so I see a lot of shit in here.
We're getting those brown recluse ones now.
How's the gaming videos going on? They're doing all right, aren't they?
Yeah, that I am. I just did one with my brother just before this.
I'll check it out, dude. I'll check it out. But once you're rolling on a PC and that, like triple monitors, same as mine, we'll do some gaming, bro. We'll have some laughs.
There we go. It'll take me a little while to catch up to that.
Same. I need a better setup as well. I want to play more PC games, but
I play most like Elder Scrolls Online. I play Left 4 Dead 4, like 2, and some other crap.
There's a Left 4 Dead 4?
No, Left 4 Dead 2. I had a burp coming out.
Is it radioactive? It was radioactive, Captain?
No, if so, I don't know. It's dead now, so they ain't gonna be telling no tales. But it was big.
Well,
I've only been freaked out really good one time, and I took him up, and I actually felt him thumping through the tube.
Jimmy T. Axel is half white and shit Mexicorn.
Please don't tell me you killed it with the famous, infamous Captain Frugal mask.
No, I did not.
That's not fucking done as well.
Actually, okay, Omnitron, I'm going to answer this one because I play Injustice 2. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that they added Hellboy or Raiden. I wanted more DC characters. I have nothing against Hellboy, but I wanted to see more DC characters. Hellboy's fine, but I'm not a huge fan of Hellboy in general. I've never really...
We cannot be friends.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't want to embrace.
I mean, I think he's a cool character. I just never got a chance to read a lot of the comics.
Frugal sent for him for in a video.
I did get to see the movies, which I did like, by the way. I did like the movies, but never really
this reboot's getting a lot of backlash and that. Some mug signed up for an Asian character and didn't even know he were Asian.
Well, how was he supposed to know? No one told him. If no one told him.
I don't know. It's just I heard a lot of backlash. It's like, I just stick to animated films and read the comics and stuff like that. It's just like, at least they don't let me down.
Actually, you know what? I'll retract it. We can keep Hellboy. Just get rid of Raiden. We don't need two Mortal Kombat characters. We have Sub-Zero.
I like Mortal Kombat though, but they don't belong in the DC universe in the games and that. It's just they've been stupid.
That's what I feel also.
Yeah, I'm fine.
You're absolutely right about it. I mean, if you got an Injustice game, bring in another DC character. Don't give me Mortal Kombat. If I want a Mortal Kombat character, I'll buy a Mortal Kombat game.
Bring me the Penguin. Bring me the Penguin, for God's sake. I haven't seen that fat little bastard in years in a game.
I did a video with Little Frugal playing Mortal Kombat versus DC, just for the record.
I remember seeing part of that. That was interesting.
So what are you up to there, Frugal? It's because
I'm sitting at my computer talking to you guys.
No. I mean, I saw your video. I saw the video where you were talking about everybody should gather together, and you did something. I don't know if everybody else noticed, but you were like, 1,000 subscribers, and Cummings has 15,000, and and I think Doug Ernst is up to 4,000, and I have a growing channel. And I was thinking, okay, well, what are you up to these days? What's your subscriber?
Oh, I have no idea. I didn't even look.
I saw the video and all I heard was this inspirational music video. I'm like, this is Frugal. I'm just another point for spam here now. This is the shit I don't want to see.
I loved it. When the music came up, I was like, bless
you. Know what? I'm watching it doing some weights, and I heard this inspiration music. I'm like, fuck this shit.
I loved it, man.
I enjoyed it.
I got to say, I thought this is. I liked the message, but the music, I was thinking that is a good slice of American cheese.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I've never had to mute anybody from my YouTube ever. And since that video, I've had to mute 2 people just today.
Really? Because I gave you shit about it?
Oh, they were calling me a white supremacist and everything else.
You nationalist? Are you kidding me? Being patriotic is now white supremacy. I mean, what kind of fucked up time are we living in?
Did I hear him swear then? Did I finally hear Old Man Comics swear?
I mean,
no, you did not.
I heard you swear then. I heard you swear
No, you did not. No, you did not.
Did someone bleep
You heard me say
in? Right, who's bleeping him out?
No, me. I'm bleeping myself out. When I had kids, I learned how to say it. So even in my videos, you'll hear me say, I can't believe that fucking thing. I do not.
Who's bleeping him?
I wish
I'm doing it.
That would be very interesting if I had the power to do that, huh?
Frugal,
you think I'm cutting?
Wow, that's impressive.
I learned when I had children, I learned to cut out the middle of the word, so I censor myself, so I can say words like or.
Who the fuck's doing this? Is that you, Jesus?
Yes. He has found me out. I have returned, and I am fucking pissed for the holes in my hands. Now that time I
heard him swear. Then I heard him swear.
Yeah, that time I did cuss.
I heard you swearing.
Well, when I saw Captain Frugal's video about the comic book community, it made me want to do one too. And I'm like, we do need to just keep on supporting one another. We need to keep on talking. We got to try and make sure that we don't go too far down the rabbit hole. We need to have checks and balances just as much as anybody else.
And that's the thing. In the video, that's why I said we all need to communicate and get along. And how you get that I'm a white supremacist from that and everything is beyond me.
Well, somebody in one of my videos, I think, it was on the video about Comics Explained, and some guy just jumped in, and I'm assuming he's black. I have no idea, but just because I pointed out the fact that I'm part Native American, that my ancestors raped the Indians, I'm like, and I'm racist. I'm like, do you have any evidence to support this? Because even I don't know my ancestry that well.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you?
That's the funny thing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Tactic. What's the debate tactic I told you when people bring that crap up?
Yep.
If you assume something about me, we are having a different conversation, so there's no point in carrying on.
And that's exactly why I did what I did, and I muted them, because they automatically jumped to that. And I was like, you know what? You have no clue who I am and how diverse my family is.
Don't make up motivations for me and then argue those motivations. I don't have time for that. If you want to debate something, I'll talk to you, but don't start making shit up.
Exactly.
It's like on Twitter, I've been going at this celebrity, and I finally got a response out of him. He said depression. Something about depression, and I've got anxiety and depression and that, and I can't help it. And that he says, "Oh, it's just in your mind and stuff like that." And I said to him, "Meet me in a ring. You're a kickboxer, I'm a boxer. I'll take your fucking title straight up." And he's finally responded to me in that, and he said he called me a moron. And I said, "You're a woman beater straight up." And I've been hounded him left, right, and centre for half of the stupid crap he's been coming off with. And the only thing he could call me was moron. And I'm like, that's probably the nicest thing I've heard all week. If you get what I mean.
I think that the funnest I always get is the one that's constantly repeated is like, you have a terrible voice and you're a garbage channel. It's like, well, please.
Time I said your balls didn't drop.
How original. It's not like I haven't heard that before. Please bring that insult back. It's a classic. I love it.
I have nothing wrong with your voice. It makes you stand out. You know, don't you want to be the same as everybody else?
I were really drunk that night, so I were hearing different things.
It's fine. I mean, I get it. My voice isn't, Morgan Freeman or anything of that nature. I know that.
No. Old Man Comics sounds like Morgan Freeman.
You want diversity on my dad's side? I'm English, Irish, German, and French, distantly related to Marshall Ney, and on mom's side, full Italian, Northern, and Southern.
So you about got 20 different breeds in you.
Okie dokie. Pick one there.
I think that my dad's answer
your family
was Heinz 57.
Yep.
That was his
apparently
response.
Melania's ancestors just went up and down Europe screwing people. So that's it. Have we done anybody in Belgium yet?
Time to add a new one to the family.
We don't have a Polak in the family yet. We don't have Polish blood. Let's go nail a Polak. Let's go. Come on. Yeah.
Polish people can drink, man. Bloody hell. They love their spirits.
Mexican and Cuban, but mainly
the
Skoogie. Huh.
I'm second generation Scottish and I can't hold my liquor for so, I don't know how that happened.
Me and you can't be friends.
I don't know what happened, man, but you know what? It's just actually I really don't like the taste. That's it.
Basically,
I'm a girl drink drunk.
I'll put a £200 bet down now that Fruka will outdrink your ass.
Oh, I'm pretty freaking sure of it. I do not drink. I don't.
I guarantee
am
that
a girl drink drunk.
I can guarantee he could beat me too because I wouldn't show up to the party.
I would make fun of I make fun of my friends because they'll be like, you can't hold it. I'm a bitch. It cost me $3 to get drunk. It cost you $50. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna use that $47 on something I want.
Just to get pissed.
There you go. If I want to get drunk, it's going to cost me just a few bucks. And then you know what? I'm going to enjoy the rest of my money tomorrow. Have a good day. Yeah.
He's going to be 40 frugal, but then he gets some pussy.
Oh, my goodness. I'm always concerned when I bring in the rowdy people.
My dick on that
you invited an Irish. You shouldn't.
I should have known better. Darn it. This is what I get for being so friendly.
Like I said, I just take over where I want.
He's an invader.
He's half Irish and he's half English. That means he'll be a dick now, and then later he'll be like, oh, I shouldn't have been that way.
Not really. I'll just wake up.
So the Irish part of you kick the crap out of the English part.
Pretty much.
Well,
I'm a nice guy. I'm respectful, if you get what I mean. I have no filler. I'm disrespectful. I have banter, if you get what I mean. Like, most people don't even know what the fuck that means. Banter.
I think I understand you, Jay, because that seems to be what a lot of English people like to do. They like to do a lot of banter and ribbing and random insults or random words that make no sense. So
basically, I said to my best friend the other day, he were on about something. He killed me in a game. I said, that's like saying you fucked my missus and she liked it. And he just burst out laughing.
Yeah, that just seems to be par for the course for that side of the pond. That just seems to be just more fun to me.
It's weird because when I went to America, I were a young age and I were acting like this. I were on about some mad stuff. And the Americans were looking at me like, what's he doing? What language is he speaking? I'm like, do you want me to speak sign language or something? Because I know sign language as well.
So yeah,
I met a couple of Irish people once, and they sounded like that Brad Pitt character from what is it?
Snatch.
Lock, Stock, Two, Snatch. That's it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Snatch.
Right.
A fighter
Holy
for a
shit,
fighter.
they exist.
What does he say? What does he say? Fuck man, call me Mickey. 2 months of right to the right to the ninth.
Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, damn. And then I saw Snatch, and I was like, oh, okay. Because people were telling me, watch out for them. They're going to steal things. I was like, I can't do that. I'm at the freaking theme park. I treat everybody. I saw Snatch. I was like, oh, okay.
Here's the thing, right? There's the Irish like me, and there's Pikeys, gypsies, different breeds. Gypsies are more traditional, we're the old school motherfuckers. Like,
where are the subtitles? I don't have them. Sorry, Mario.
So we don't go around in like caravans traveling from site to site and stuff like that. We're pretty old school shit, if you know what I mean. We don't steal from people. We have respect. Family means everything. We probably all got the same fucking tattoo on us.
Maranya, don't worry about subtitles for him. When he stops talking, just toss out a random sentence. Apparently, it sticks. It's okay.
Yeah,
we don't know what he's been saying either. We're just hoping that whatever we talk about, it's around the same thing. He'll hold up a comic book. We know he's talking about comics.
Old man comics.
This entire time, I think all he's been talking about is vaping and hats, because that's all I see about him.
How's that hip replacement?
Dude, I'm not going to bother with a hip. No, I'm tucking the balls back up. I'm not going to waste my time with a hip replacement.
Damn, have you had your balls cut off already?
I like what Marani is.
No, not cut off. No. But as you get older, they drag.
Have you sat on yours yet?
Oh
I don't want them to drag. See, I don't want to have that thing where I'm walking down a cement road and they just bounce.
My man's had blue fucking waffled balls.
Get old enough. If you get old enough, you can just pull your balls right up to your neck and use them as a blanket. So I'm trying to avoid that.
Go see a doctor.
Wait till that first time you sit on them.
Frugal, go see a doctor.
God invented alcohol to stop the Irish from taking over the world. That's probably true.
God invented whiskey. That's a saying.
It doesn't work that way. It gives them
the
feeling that they can take over the world.
Thank you for that knee replacement information, because I'm in line for one of those eventually.
Oh my goodness! Oh man, I'm sorry.
Why did I laugh? Then I feel horrible. Fuck it.
Any form of replacement surgery sucks.
When's this happening anyway, Frugal? You're all good though, bro.
Yeah, my knee is pretty bad.
Is it arthritis?
It's like Indiana Jones. It ain't the years.
Yeah, it makes some pretty nasty noises, and I can tell the weather really well.
Yeah, it's arthritis, something.
It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I get it in my hands now and again.
I also have a bad wrist too.
Too much wanking, Matt.
Speaking, I am so freaking surprised I have not lost power yet.
Yeah, can we actually touch on the fact that we've managed to keep Englandine here for as long as we have? I don't even know how long we've been going.
I mean, the wind is being blown so freaking hard. I'm expecting to open the door to Oz. It's like,
how is everybody doing over there? Is everybody all right though?
The family's good. The kids are good. Yeah.
We've been streaming for almost 2 hours.
2 hours.
And
I know.
Not been lost. That is amazing.
And everybody else, I'm hearing, we just lost power. We just lost power. Now I should stop talking about it because I'm going to jinx myself.
Yeah,
don't jinx it, bro.
I don't want to do
that. As long as you lot are all right, though, that is your main priority, and that your families are safe.
I keep checking. I keep checking on the ex. They're fine. The daughters are good. That's what I care about.
As long as Frugal's safe. Frugal is a national treasure. We must protect him at all times.
Yes, the actual nice guy on the internet.
Yeah.
They only do what? Don't swear. Why?
You guys are giving me way too much credit, but thank you.
Frugal, you are a demigod, and I thought I were a demigod.
But I think Englantine's keeping power because he's hooked up to the Cosmic Cube.
Yeah, that's probably it.
There you go.
Let's blame it on Deus Ex Machina.
What music?
Yeah, I had somebody barf it up for me. And now
I'm sorry, I missed that issue. Could you tell me what? No, just kidding.
I didn't read any issue, and all I needed to do was watch video. Like, really? 3 Deus Ex Machinas. A Deus Ex Machina to chase Steve. Another one to fix the
starting?
But the just audacity of Spencer to act like that character was such a big character in that book.
Football.
I know it's not story if you show them for. God damn it! Get me started on Secret Empire. God damn it!
Well,
you know what?
I want to answer Jay's question because he was asking.
Okay, you know what? Fuck this. Here it goes. Okay, first of all, Professor Thor, you can go suck yourself. Because here's the thing: Secret Empire. God damn, fucking.
You actually watched his video too? No.
And he's like, oh, well, I love Secret Empire. And let me tell you why. Okay, no, let's stop right here. First thing that happens, I thought, this is really cool because he built a story up and now go. And I thought, yes, Secret Empire 0 impressed me. That was the last time I enjoyed it. Because after that, every bit of art looked like fucking mud.
Yeah.
Coloring, horrible art. Now let's talk about the story, because forget about all that technical stuff like, oh, does it look good or whatever. I mean, there are staples in the book. I am surprised they got that done with the incompetence that was poured into this shit. Anyway, he shows Barf in the first 4 pages and then claims that, well, no, I set this up. Bullshit, because it's not Barf's story.
Yeah.
Now he starts saying, well, it's Sam's story. It's Sam's. He's learning how to be Captain America. So then the bitch goes off and he goes away and he goes with Misty Knight, and they're trying to find the Cosmic Cube, and they don't find it, and he's feeling down. And Patriot has a conversation with Sam Wilson. And he goes, well, it's the individual. It's not the symbols. It's who you are. And that would be the perfect time for him to put back on the Falcon suit and say, we need to go stop this, because he just said it's about the individual. And what happens? He puts on the symbol, an America outfit. Dumb fuckery, you just explained why putting on the goddamn outfit would not work, because it's just going backwards, not forward.
Sand up his vagina.
And Jesus, what you talked about Secret Empire, and
I didn't talk about shit. Probably Frugal mixing stuff in a way as a little instigator.
Said it, but God, I'm on a roll. Shut up, Irish. All right, so what?
Go for it. You're on the roll. I'm gonna let it go.
Then Captain America Sam Wilson comes out and says, well, you know what? For a long time, we've been fighting each other and not the bad guys. We need to stand up. And they're like, oh, this is such a heroic speech. No, because it wasn't about morals. It wasn't about ideals. It was like, hey, we've been fucking up. We should cover our ass. It wasn't about anything people can get behind. It's like, yeah, you need to fix that because you screwed it up. So it wasn't any kind of big speech like they're talking about. So then what do? Hey, we need to free these people. And they actually free a guy who barfs up the Cosmic Cube that they've been looking for. There's no hero's journey to this.
No,
if we were following Barf, then maybe it would have been, oh, wait, I think I can cop up. Oh, finally, I did it. No. It was just out of the blue. I'm going to barf up the whole thing that we need to fight Captain America with, and he does. Which now you have a character.
Nick Spencer actually doing. I know someone saw one meme doing that with Nick Spencer. Someone do another one, please, because I want to laugh more.
Old man comics. Old man comics. You want a hug?
Worse. It gets worse from there, because they take the Cosmic Cube to go fight Captain America. They give him a piece of it, this one part of the cube. Now let's forget about the fact that he changes the world while Sam Wilson is holding the cube, but Ant-Man and Winter Soldier are off separate, so they would have been part of the change and not there.
Yeah.
But then they do this whole thing where they oh, god damn it, this
clearly.
But okay, I'm just, the story is
someone remove his microphone from him and put him back in his old
so
get off my lawn.
Okay, then Kubik comes out and she says, hey, I'm going to repair everything except for all the lives lost in Vegas, except for all the damage done.
1 second, gentlemen.
It gets worse because Oh, God damn it. I can't even fucking believe this. And then at the end, he's like, oh, well, here's your shield. You have earned the right to be Captain America. Bullshit. That whole thing was Sam Wilson. I am now Captain America. Who beat Hydra Cap?
Wasn't him.
Nope.
It wasn't Sam Wilson. It was Steve Rogers.
That was kind of what really irked me about the end too, is that you're trying to build up for Sam to win, but in reality, it's like we already knew this was coming. We knew that you're going to bring the original Steve Rogers back. He's going to have to fight his evil version of himself, and we're going to just see him kick the crap out of him. And then you have all these heroes literally just saying like, oh, congratulations, we did it. High fives all around. It's like you guys didn't do pretty much anything at all except for find the part of the cube. That's it. Aside from that, you don't get the victory. You don't get to say, oh, hey, we won.
They didn't even get the victory for finding the cube.
No.
I mean, it's just amazing. And then they're talking about how it's a hero's journey for Sam Wilson. Sam Wilson didn't do anything. And then at the end, you have all the legacy characters. Go, Joe! But you didn't do anything.
Yeah, no, I could hear you coming up the steps then. Jesus, you got the sound of Jesus in your
didn't do anything.
Damn, bro. Wow, this
heard that song, man.
Dude, I could smell the salt coming up the fucking steps.
I'm sorry, but you know what? The whole thing about, oh, this is a good story. No, it wasn't.
Damn, bro.
Maranya, stay away from the recent She-Hulk. That thing is such crap.
Who put sand up your
It
vagina?
is horrible, horrible.
I think that there is one thing, though, that I think that we should all talk about and address more frequently in our videos is we have to make sure that we also talk about DC when they screw up. And I know we all do that as it is, but because Razorfist was talking about this a few days ago in a live stream where it's like we have to make sure that we don't forget about DC. We can't play favorites. And I actually
I agree.
It's like we have to make sure that we call DC out on their shit when they do it too.
Well, sure, we got to keep them honest because right now they're sort of under the radar because Marvel's taking all the hits, and we don't want them to turn around and hire people like Mags and end up just as bad.
Yeah, they brought on Mags, and he is a pain in the butt. Really, seriously. Nobody's ever grossed me out like that guy. And I know everybody's sphincters just tightened because I called him a guy, but dude, sorry, yes.
That's what I call it. Oops, I just said it. Well, that's even worse.
Oh, man,
don't assume genders, you crazy old bastards. Don't assume genders. How dare you?
Well,
I did that.
Well, my wife's cousin is trans, and he really does the job to try to appear. And I don't see that. And I'm very I guess maybe it's kind of like the whole SJW thing. I've seen trans-trenders so much that now it's almost like I'm like, yeah, you're not doing it because I see what it looks like properly.
Comics, do you go up to him and say, "All right, bro"? Fucking mop fucking kitchen.
Say again.
Do you go up to the transgender and be like, "You're right, bro"? Fucking look out.
Yeah. I'm a judge of all. Yeah, you're not a real transgender. Go away. Yeah.
Give them the fist bump and everything.
You know, it's just current Marvel. Like every new hero is a super genius. They're all the greatest thing. Where is the good character building and story? There's nothing there.
That's the conversation.
Not an interesting character.
The comments.
Yeah, I think that it was one of the things that I've always heard. It's like. I think that this is a phrase, correct me if I'm wrong, but when everybody is smart in a story, nobody is smart in the story.
Nobody is. Right.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that earlier when I was doing the worst SJW characters for the video, the voting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I thought one of the things was Mockingbird and Unstoppable Wasp, where they're talking about, and it's the geniuses, and we got to find more girl geniuses. And I'm like, everybody's a genius in the Marvel universe anymore, except for they're being written by dumb people, so they don't come off as geniuses. I'm like, did you hear Gabby Rivera's dialogue for Moon Girl, who's supposed to be the smartest girl on the person on the planet?
Yeah.
So freaking dumb. It's so stupid. It hurts.
Omnitron makes a very good point. If you make everyone Batman, then nobody is Batman. This is true.
Right.
It's kind of the same problem I've had. It's a subject I never really tackled, but when you have like 5 or 6 characters that pretty much are running around with the same title practically, and it's like,
well, yeah, that's a Spider-Man problem because Spider-Man's no
Yeah.
longer special. How many Spider-Mans are running around? It's ridiculous.
many.
Right,
I-
right.
I
Who's
like
a
the real one,
Spider-Man
but-
fan in here?
Yeah, and even the real Spider-Man, the original Peter Parker, is a fraction of what he used to be. He's written nothing like he used to be in character.
I think
Well,
for a
that-
while, I think they were publishing like over 9 Spider-related titles, if you include Spider-Woman. And it's like, there's too many Spider people. Can we drop it down to only like maybe 2 or 3 and be done with it? Because, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Spider-Man 2099 as much as the next person, but there's way too many. I'd like it better if Spider-Man 2099 was just like doing his own thing in his own timeline and not here in the modern age.
Right, and I created the same thing with Miles Morales. Miles
Yeah.
Morales was an interesting, good character when they created him. I think they actually diluted him, bringing him over to the traditional Marvel universe.
That's actually one of the things that got nominated when it was talking about bad character changes and bad story arc.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're
Miles
right, Rodrigo.
Morales was nominated. Not Miles Morales was nominated because he used to be something special, and now he's just meh. Yeah, and it also talks about like going back to the Secret Empire thing with the Captain America. You have all the heroes looking up to him. Oh, he's Captain America. His inspirational speeches came from Steve Rogers, not the suit.
Did he just?
I mean,
swear
they're looking
here?
up at him like a freaking they're like Captain America's a mall Santa. Oh, he's got the suit on now.
But,
He is.
but you see, you just brought up the point right there. Is Marvel no longer really cares about the character? They're using the suit. It's not
Yeah.
the person in it. It's whoever has the suit, and that's not what we want.
And it's even worse. Actually, it's even worse than that because now all they are is a one-dimensional soapbox for whatever ideas they want to shove out into the ether. And these aren't even characters. Riri is not a character. She's not even a Mary. She's barely a Mary Sue character. She is literally just a one-dimensional soapbox for Brian Michael Bendis to spout whatever rhetoric he wants. That's all she is. That's all she will ever be until someone actually fixes the problem.
Pretty much, yeah.
And
But,
this is it's one of those things that I don't like Mary Sue characters in general because when I found out what that actually meant, because I didn't know what it was initially until people started talking about it, and I'm like, okay, I get it. I understand. You can write a Mary Sue character if you want, and you can do it fine, especially if they're used in a form of comedy. They're perfectly fine in that regard, but in a more realistic setting or in a story setting where it's supposed to be taken seriously, they are terrible to use. To have a perfect person who everybody follows without question and believes in wholeheartedly without questioning.
well, they seem to be the perfect heroes for the participation trophy generation
Pretty much, yeah.
because they don't have to try to get anything; they just get it.
Yeah, that's actually what a Mary Sue character is exactly. It's
Imagining
everything
Captain
is
Blue
handed.
was a comic book character. I would pay money for that actually.
A middle-aged
I think they
man
got
with
that-
kids.
He's called the Four Bush Man.
Listen, if Old Man Comics were a comic book, what do you think his superpower would be? I think it would be a Zimmer frame.
Interesting.
A what?
A Zimmer frame.
I have
What's a
no
Zimmer
idea.
frame?
Basically, they're metal things what you walk up on, like a crutch.
You mean a
But it's
walker?
like- yeah, we call it a
You
Zimmer
think
frame.
my
over here.
superpower would be a walker.
Ah,
Yes.
I, dude. As far as jokes, I think that was a swing and a miss, dude. But good try.
I'm literally
It's
touching
okay.
cloth right now with the beer.
You know what? You wrote it. You wrote a joke. We're going to take this. We're going to put it up on the fridge. And
You know what it
it's
is?
there for you to be inspired.
This has been so while. I
Better next
love
time.
comics because he's the only one what gives me shit back. Take them all. Take Frugal's. I love Frugal. Switchpoint, Cummings, maybe Cummings, but the rest of them do not come back to me and give me shit. It's like, why? And I love comic. He just comes into it. It's like, John, you're an asshole. Yep, and you're an odd cum.
And you're welcome. You
So-
need
so-
honesty in your life sometime.
I
Yeah.
do have a piss bag though.
Yeah, I think I have a friend that you two would get along famously. Probably give each other a hard time every single waking moment.
Are you saying he's
That is-
gay?
What?
Is she
What?
Asian?
He said to give you a hard time.
That's why I'm asking. Is she Asian?
Whoa.
Ooh, no.
Is it
I
Polish?
okay. I'll explain. I have a friend who's basically an adopted brother to me, and
I'm adopted.
yeah, he's adopted by my family. Not actually adopted. He has his family, but he loves. We're basically brothers from different mothers, and he's blunt as all get out, and he will tell you how he feels about you pretty much without hesitation, and he will talk shit to you if he feels like it. I think that you two would get along quite well, Jay.
And Old Man Comics, piss bag hymns for him.
Yeah, I think you guys would get along pretty well if he could tolerate you. Then again, maybe not. Maybe he'd end up hating your guts. I don't know.
It depends on how the medication is working.
And
I
if
like
the
people
depends
in
are
that.
working.
Depends how much beer I've had.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And how
It
much
does get to a point.
human tolerance I can do.
yeah.
But everybody loves Frugal though.
Frugals is great. I like him.
I have an action
Frugal's-
figure of Captain Frugal.
Oh, jeez.
Did you masturbate over it,
Yeah.
good sir?
No. Those kind of interests. I've got very specific interests like that. 44-year-old farmers from Thailand,
You,
4'9". That's it.
you've got a figure of Frugal.
Of course, doesn't everybody? I create action figures. I've got a Frugal. I got Captain Cummings.
Jeez.
I think Switchpoint's
Oh, yeah,
got a
Brett.
portrait of him.
Mhm.
I actually
Yeah,
do think Switchpoint is gay for Cummings.
I keep the Frugal figure right next to my Buddha. So when I kneel to pray, there you go.
Frugal is love. Frugal is life. If he is God, I will bow to him.
Never. I will never be.
You are God now, sir. You're getting a shrine.
It's always good to be humble.
That's the thing, though.
list.
I want to hear
list
Frugal
is
swear for
life.
some reason.
Because I know that everybody talks to me. It's like, oh, don't sell yourself short. But it's like, I have to do that. I need to remain humble. If I get too cocky, then I have further to fall.
Why is someone in chat saying the Hail Frugal thing? I started that bullshit off. Pay me money now.
Hey! Let's show respect to Maranya. Come on.
Yeah.
Hello.
She's managed to tolerate our crap for this long.
What's the name again? I can't pronounce it.
Maranya, yeah.
Maranya.
I
Is
think
there a
that's-
way that you shorten that, Maranya? Is it a Mary or Anya or Volkonen? I mean, good dog. Your last name's Volkonen? I would go by Volkonen everywhere.
Volkonen. Yeah, I can pronounce that. Volkonen.
Sounds Swedish.
Yeah, I
Could
mean,
very well.
That right there, it wouldn't matter. I would be wearing it on a shirt. I would carry a sword, even if it was
Anya.
illegal to do so, and just come,
Anya.
I am Volkonen. And then they would just let you keep the sword no matter where you went.
Sounds like a good idea.
Or can you get rid of the I am Volkonen and go right on in?
Anya will do. Okay.
Anya sounds perfectly fine with me. I can pronounce that. I'm a dyslexic fuck with a little rip.
Well,
No, true story. Actually, I'm dyslexic.
I am a bit
Yeah.
myself.
yeah. There are many people who suffer with it every day.
But I'm smart as fuck.
No one ever said that you had to have a firm grasp on reading to not be smart.
Who could friends
Although it
with
does
a porn
help.
star and
I
still
agree.
be friends
Volkonen
with
the
them?
Barbarian.
Yes. I like that. She should start her own YouTube channel.
Volkonen
and-
the Barbarian.
I like that idea. Go with it. Go with it, Anya.
Mm-hmm.
Make a YouTube channel and have that as your YouTube channel name.
We need
Volcano.
more.
Hail Frugal because he's God to us, god damn it. Fuck Cummings.
We We have some drunken idiots we would love to drop you in the middle of so you can hack and slash their Volcanon.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh, not you.
Not
You're
you.
fine. Jay.
Oh, what about me?
You're a different kind of drunk they're referring to.
You're the Irish drunken idiot. We're talking about the
You don't like the
American
Irish, do you?
drunken idiots.
You're the Irish drunk
Say
that
again?
we enjoy having
You
company.
don't like the Irish, do you?
I'm Scottish. Fuck you.
Do you understand this? Come as attack on a nigga he.
I have a
I
mouth
think that's
disability and low-level
on the
autism.
flag, isn't it? It's on the flag. I'm Scottish. Fuck
That's
you.
Gaelic.
So yeah.
Yeah.
No, actually,
understand
I have no problem with anybody. Just shooting. Shit, I can't fucking talk.
I love Comics. Me and him are good friends because he's the only bastard what gives me shit back. Cummins is like, nah. Frugal's just like, keep going, Jay.
he keeps on telling you keep going, keep doing it.
Well, I find
He keeps
roasting
encouraging
fun.
you.
Give me them follows what you've got on Twitter.
I think they're waiting to see if I push it too far and you actually punch me through the computer screen.
Could always set up a boxing ring.
Oh, you fucking American bastard punch. Alrighty, I'm done.
I would do what McGregor would have done to American.
Dude, I am 47, fat, out of shape. Nah, I have no illusion how that fight would go.
Hell, Frugal would whip your ass.
But I would have to shoot you, so it would not be good for you.
I've been shot before and it didn't do no.
I'm in a boxing ring. Let's go. Okay, blam. Let's go watch some TV, guys. It's done.
Yeah, I'd take the hit for that kind of money, though.
Yeah, definitely. The dude's
No
smart.
kidding.
How much did he make? About 100 million.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he did an advertisement right afterwards too. Afterwards, when he was speaking, he mentioned his own whiskey brand, so he's already stepped out.
Yeah, he come out with his whiskey and that.
That was a good. I was actually surprised. I was surprised he lasted long.
No,
Yeah,
the
'cause he's
reason
going
why
up-
he lasted that long because Mayweather carried him because he wanted to give the fans. How much did they pay? Like 10 grand a ticket.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah,
I'll take it all down.
makes sense
Karate
'cause-
Bo staff trained right here. Okay, you have me officially intimidated.
Oh,
I'm scared of you now, Omnitron. I don't want to mess with you.
I'm trained in Mudokwan Tang Sudo.
I can fight with a bow staff.
I'll play with any money. See that, dude? I'll whip your ass.
And I learned just enough martial arts to get my ass kicked, but I can fight with a bow staff.
There you go.
Can you fight with a walking stick?
Walking stick could
Oh, I
double
have
as a
to.
bow stick.
Yeah.
Can you fight with a walking stick saying, "Get off my land, you stupid kid"?
Omnitron. I wasn't kidding either, Omnitron. But I'm outdated and old, so
I'm trained in
training
comics.
winning right there. She won.
That's the
the
win.
way
That
to
is
do
the
it.
winner. That is the winner right there at the bottom.
You win, Anya. You win by default. Bravo.
Yep.
That is the winner right there. That is the winner right there. This needs to be the new meme. This needs to be the new flavor of the month.
I am trained in comics foo.
That would make a great T-shirt.
You know what it is? I'm stealing that. I'm stealing that.
Just so long as
first
you
one to
get
T
the
Public
rights.
wins.
Frugal, steal it. Make a t-shirt out of it. Make some.
The first one to T Public wins. That's the thing. Go get it done. Mhm. I'll tell you what. I talked to some people. I'm trying to find an artist. Slots cartoon face onto Dr. Octopus,
Did
so
you
we
say-
get that Doc Block.
Slotto block.
Put that on a
pages.
fucking t-shirt. I want that on a t-shirt so I could wear it to a Comic-Con with him there.
Yeah.
you know the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life? My mate said, "Oh, he's got a lawnmower tattooed on him." I'm like, "Where is he? He's got it near his pubic hair." I'm like, "You're a fucking idiot." Fucking walks away from him. And basically, I want a tattoo, not a tattoo t-shirt saying "this fucking guy." Just to walk around with and just fuck with people.
Yes, I do want to see a Shang-Chi comic book from Marvel.
That would be nice.
Frugal,
But-
what would you say if I got your face tattooed on my ass?
What?
I
What?
I would say right off that just proves You just confirmed everything I ever thought about you. That's what I would tell him if I ever saw it. That would be the message right there. Yep, you just confirmed everything. I no longer question your sexuality. That would be
My
it right there.
sexuality, but yeah, I've still slept with more women than you have had warm dinners.
Absolutely.
You see what I mean? You come back to that.
I prefer quality over quantity.
Right, what would you do if I had fucking... Yeah, I would actually do it as well. I would actually get Cummings' face tattooed on my back. I'm like, yeah, there you go, you motherfucker. Just to fuck with him. With that bald head of his.
The one thing I wouldn't want to see from a Shang-Chi comic book, I don't want them to have any kind of victimization of the Asian people, which Marvel would definitely be in danger of doing with their modern attitude.
You know, and that's why right now I would not want to see them have a Shang-Chi comic book. I won't want to see them handle any characters that I like, because they turned them into one-note crap. You know,
they do. I mean, look at in anything. All of a sudden, Iceman is Iceman Swishy Pants. Some of that cover, the whole way he's acting.
Yep.
Oates is written Black Panther and Storm and Luke Cage, and all of their dialogue is, I'm black, y'all. I'm black. I'm black. You're black. I'm black. Really, we're black? Oh, look at those white people.
Well, and look at Iceman. You know, I loved Iceman.
I'll be back in just a minute, guys. I gotta take care of something.
He's got his shit.
Well, anyway, Iceman was a character I grew up liking. You know, X-Men. I loved him in Spider-Man and Amazing Friends, and then his book is terrible. And I mean, if you see my review, you know what I thought about Iceman.
It doesn't make sense. The whole X-Men thing is supposed to be about bigotry, and the mutant thing is how they do that. Right? It's God damn it.
And
it's supposed to be a subtle. It's supposed to be a subtle thing.
And you look at that in my review, it's like his parents accepted him being a mutant, but they couldn't accept him being gay. That makes no sense.
The whole and mutant is supposed to be, it's supposed to be a stand-in for whatever you feel. Are you alone? Are you a geek who doesn't have any friends? Mutant. Are you gay and you can't come out to your parents? Mutant. Are you a different race and people are showing racist? Mutant. That was the beautiful thing about the mutant thing, is everybody could relate because everybody felt like an outsider at some point. And now you're having, oh, I'm a mutant and I'm gay and I'm trying to do the same story with 2 levels. Such an awkward story because all they've got to do.
Souls.
Say again?
You sound like you're playing Dark Souls. Do you know what Dark Souls is?
Daxels?
Dark Souls.
I think he's saying Dark Souls. Dark. Yes. Dark Souls.
Dark.
Dark.
Dark. Okay. No, I'm just fucking with you, man.
You know what it is? This is why I love comics, man. Fucking hell. He's a shit stirrer like me.
I'm just messing with you, dude. I got it.
Turn that hearing frame up, yeah.
Yeah, I understood what he was saying. I was just busting balls, man.
But you know what it is? I mustn't be real right. I hope you lot are all right though over there. You know, to do with the hurricane.
Yeah, right. So long as the rest of the family's okay and your room just collapses there. That's all I.
Hey, I've been shot. I've been good.
Are you a fan of the "Rock You Like a Hurricane" song by the Scorpions?
Oh hell yeah! That was like pure 19. That's like the most 1980s songs you can get as far as heavy metal is concerned.
It's all about the 80s. Kick him.
Oh. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I'm all about the 80s music because there hasn't been a...
Dude, I was born in 89, so I'm technically an 80s kid, but in the middle of 90s. Well, the ends.
But if you're 89, then your teen years were in the 2000s. Damn, that was the worst music on the planet.
Dude, you know what it was?
I feel sorry for you, man.
It were a good time to be a teenager back then as well. Fucking pubs at the time.
Oh, My Chemical Romance was your fucking rock and roll. I feel sorry for you, man. That's
you know what it is. There's me listening to Jimi Hendrix in my dad's car and everything because my mum and dad are both gonna be 68.
And I'm back.
Boom.
Oh, guys, we gotta change the subject now.
Okay.
What I miss,
Yeah,
guys?
Well, now we're having a decent conversation then.
Yeah, we're
Were they civilized? while I
we're
was
talking.
away?
Yes, the one.
We're talking
They were very-
political stuff.
What?
We were
Everybody's
talking about
writing.
stuff before your
Everybody's.
time.
They were writing Dark Souls and trying to tell me. He's
I can
saying
see
Dark Souls, Dark Souls.
Dark Souls or Dank Souls.
Dokken and Rat. Okay, I've got to say, Maranya. Now, Dokken. All I liked from them was the Nightmare song, Dream Warriors. I never understood the appeal other than that one, but Dream Warriors rocked. And Rat, you're right. Maybe Rat is the most pure '80s hair band with Round and Round and what was that? I want a woman, not a little girl. That one. Yeah, old people are talking, kids.
People who are talking about music that I know absolutely nothing about. So,
yes, because you're a baby.
well, it's not.
You're
I mean, we could talk about like the Beatles and Elvis Presley and some old country musicians that I know. But when it comes,
Fabulous Thunderbirds, Omnitron. Are you tough enough to wrap it up?
Right, am I the youngest fucker here?
That is something that nobody here but you and I are knowing about.
Right, I need an adult.
Okay, England team will laugh about this and possibly get it, but back when Elton John did a cover of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, I later heard the original Beatles version and went, wow, cover of, oh my gosh, yeah. You know what? I had somebody do that with Guns N' Roses. They did a cover version of Mama Ken, and they were like, oh, I love that song. And Aerosmith did a Guns N' Roses song. Yeah, so we'll do that before. That is funny, though.
Have you ever the Beatles when you rewind the vinyl when you hear that satanic devil worshipping shit?
Oh, I've done that to a couple of records. Yeah, no. What you get when you what was it? Mr. Roboto starts off with mooning up, and it's a backwards message. And what you get when you played your record backwards was a busted needle.
Yep.
There was no
in
backwards
the Beatles,
satanic messages.
I think it was John Lennon or whatever it was. One of the original singers died, and they got the someone what looks like him to take the role. And when you played the record backwards, it's saying his name. We miss you, to do with a song lyric. You could hear it. I've got to find it on YouTube so I can send you it. It's some trippy shit. But Tata always showed me.
Yeah,
like,
most of them.
Nah.
Most of those things, they always have words near them. So it would help you to hear what they say they hear. So it'd really be like, yeah, and then the words would say, you know, God is dead, Satan love him.
No,
it
said something.
And it would sound like it.
No, it said something like, yep, John, I miss you. Yeah, John, I miss you. And that John, I miss you was so clear. And they were like, dude, get this shit off. I'm getting tattooed. I don't want to hear this crap.
I went to a Bible studies once when I was, 13, 14 years old. I went for a girl. I was freaking stupid enough to think Bible studies would get me laid.
You stepped in front of a church for some girl.
But no. It was like a retreat kind of thing, and they were talking about the evils of heavy metal, which I was into at the time. I actually had hair back then, and they would talk about, oh wow, kids are committing suicide over Ozzy Osbourne lyrics, and Iron Maiden is horrible. And I was like, wait a second, Iron Maiden are a bunch of guys that came out of like Oxford and decided they couldn't get girls, so they decided to write music. They write music about like stranger in a strange land. They've put Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner to music. This is in their songs.
So
and it floored them because they always thought about, well, Iron Maiden, look at the images, that's Satan, you know.
Ozzy Osbourne bit of bat of an Eddie. This dude's a fucking G in my eyes.
Yeah, they look at Eddie and they think bad things, but if you look at the lyrics, you see the songs that Iron Maiden wrote.
Right.
their first big hit in America was all about the slaughtering of the Indians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what we were talking
which
about
was
earlier.
Run to the Hills. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of it was a lot deeper than people give credit to. Mainly because the hair band thing that came in the later '80s.
It's like a song. I can't remember what it's called. Or fucking, I don't know the band of it. It's called "I Committed a Riot," and that is about my city of Leeds. That song, saying I committed a riot. That is basically my city of Leeds, saying we make riots over here. We don't give a fuck about police.
Yeah, that's a band I never got into. The Police. I mean, yeah, God bless you if you did. It just never did. That never appealed. Wow, Frugal, you and Knight just went really quiet while basically I ranted on about music.
Oh, that's all good.
That's what people do.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah, I felt the same way. It's like I have nothing to contribute to this conversation, so
I have a ton to contribute, but I didn't
want to swear.
I have to apologize. Let me apologize about something here. I have a bad habit of jumping in and trying to. It's just controlling a room.
It's all
as
good.
far as conversation is concerned.
It's I talk for a living, so sometimes it's nice to not talk.
I was in I did the entertainment thing at Universal, and I'm very much used to this. So if I get going, I almost ignore the fact that other people are, and instead of having a conversation, rant or.
It makes it fun.
My kids laugh because I go off on like a joke thing where I'll just start telling, and it'll always be like 3 or 4, and I'll just keep trying stuff on them. They can tell when I'm writing material, basically.
So my nephew and nieces know not to fuck with me when they knock on my door. I'm doing some dungeons. Fuck off.
Has any of you ever had long hair?
Yeah. Well, basically, this is what I'm doing for winter, growing it back.
At one point, I had mine about down to my bum.
Well, I can't say that that's the same.
We're talking,
but
this was in the '80s.
Yeah, and
I had I was in a garage band, and I actually had at one point the teased out high hair that you would see bands wear. It was fucking stupid. It was like there are no pictures of that left at all.
Yeah, I don't have any pictures of my long hair either.
God, my ex has got a photo of me like a couple of years ago when I grew my hair back, for one, and it was down to here, like in curtains. She just told me, said, Jonathan, sort your fucking head out and get your hair cut.
Can I point out the irony that the guys who talk about comic books for a living over here are talking about music in the comment section? They're actually talking about comics.
Well, a little bit of fun info that not many people know is I actually have.
That's the thing, though. I like rock music. It's one of them. You just want to rebel against the machine, be a rebel, grow your hair out, get tattoos, fuck as much women as you want. Frugal, you are no exception from this because you are a god in a sack.
Frugal sexual prowess aside, I would here's a hairstyle we used to do. Maybe you could take it. But you shave the side of your head, but it's like a mohawk, but not quite, because you leave the entire top.
It's like a ponytail at the back.
No. You keep the whole middle part almost like a thick mohawk, but then when it all grows out, the middle looks like a lion's mane. At like a lighter color than the middle. It looks like you have a lion's mane going down.
I had that like a couple of years ago when I grew my hair in curtains. I had my side shaved a bit, and I had like a bit of a ponytail at the back when I grew a bit of a beard out.
Yeah.
And I just
now I have to shave it because when you get to a certain age, if you lose your hair, it literally grows into a comb over, and I will never have that, so I've got to shave it.
Dude, I'm 28 and I'm going gray.
That's what time does to you.
Yeah, just give it a few more years. Mine's there too.
Yeah.
Break
I
on
have my hair
through
down.
to the other side. Break on through to the other side.
No.
Sorry.
I'm thinking,
There.
hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, I can't say that I've ever grown my hair out long. I don't like the management. Also, my mom would probably kick my ass if I did.
No long hair's the sign of the devil.
Oh, my mom would probably just get on my case about it, so I'm not gonna worry about that.
Makes it
But-
right.
But I do have a stepbrother from my dad's side who he dresses like a biker. I think actually he is a biker, and he has long hair and a really long beard. And every time I see him, it's like, "Yep, that's my brother Shane. How you doing, Shane?" It's like
I'm gonna
I can
kick your
pick him.
ass night.
Oh no. I'm just saying, in a room full of our family and whatnot, I can point him out in the crowd. It's like I don't even need to try. It's like, oh, yep, that's Shane right there, because he's
It's
the only
like
one that stands out.
It's like in my family, everybody's all dressed nice and smart. There's me, 5'6", with an hat on, hoodie on, drinking a pint, telling people to go suck the mums and that to go near me.
And they're all like, yep, that's that particular member of the family.
That's that little shit. What's that police knocking on my door every fucking day?
So Anya, are you drawing Cosmic Boy like during the Jim Shooter years with the pink and the open chest thing, or what Cosmic Boy do you draw?
Disturb is a sick band, down with the sickness.
And just for the record, when you say old school Iron Man, do you mean the red and gold one,
Or are we talking
before
about
he even
big
switched
thick
to that?
armor? Yeah, the gray armor.
Are we talking about the Iron Man what looks like a big metal dildo? When he first came
Yeah,
out?
basically. Yep.
Yes.
I was actually surprised they included that in the movie. I'm very happy that they did.
Yeah, they did. You know, the only thing what I'm gutted about, they won't make another Hulk film because both of them flopped.
Yeah, I like that second one.
I did too.
Yeah.
I had a problem with it. It was a decent film.
They were a
Not the
decent
best
Hulk
in the
film,
Marvel
but-
universe.
But the first Hulk was shit. I thought it was God's green earth when I was a
The
teenager.
first one.
Well, whenever your ultimate villain ends up looking like a cloud at the end, it's never a good sign.
Yeah,
or a
in
giant
the
laser
pitch-
beam that comes from the sky.
Yeah,
in the pitch darkness.
It was like the new Fantastic Four. The only thing they got right about the film was the fucking
That's the good Cosmic Boy. Yeah.
They got that right about the new Fantastic Four, but the other shit they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the one you're talking about though was just who thought that Ang Lee would be a good Hulk director?
I
That
have
is
no
just-
idea.
yeah.
Well, I will say I found that how he did transitions and scenes as a comic book was interesting. But
Yeah.
the rest I didn't care for.
It was a funny way to transition, but I didn't even remember that from originally seeing the movie. I watched the Nostalgia Critics review on it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, they did that, didn't they?" And I was like, "Yeah." After a while, that would probably get a little old. I mean, if you did it for like the opening sequence when the story first starts out, yeah, you're golden. But repeatedly doing it for whatever reason, it's like, I know you're trying to make this look like a comic book, but this is a movie. Tone it down. Tone it down. Stop doing that. Getting a little weird.
the old corset Cosmic Boy. I do not know who thought that was a good thing. Some of those 1970s Legion of Superhero costumes are out there.
Yeah.
What's this? What I've been hearing that they're gonna make a live action Justice League Dark film.
I don't know where you heard that before.
Yeah, I've heard rumors
Dak
about
film?
that as well. Dark.
Dark,
Justice
the live
Dark?
action.
I'm
Oh,
I
sorry.
think I
Yeah,
did
gonna
hear
ride that pony until it dies. Yeah, they're talking about it, but once again, until we see it, especially as far as DC's concerned,
Yeah,
yeah.
I already.
I am looking forward to Justice League film and Aquaman. They are the films I am looking forward to.
Justice League was the #1 movie I've been looking forward to all year. It's the only thing. People, oh, Thor. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna watch it, but
Star Wars.
everything else is
I refuse to
okay.
watch.
But
the
there's
Star Wars.
Justice League. There's a Justice League movie. That's the one I want to see.
You know what it is? Wonder Woman. They fucking nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah,
think
you
Wonder Woman
know,
It's my favorite film of the year. I've been working on a video for a movie, though. You guys have to see this. If you are a comic book fan, and I'm talking about everybody, all 9 people watching right now, there's a movie called Batman and Bill Finger. It's a documentary.
What book?
And
Batman and I fingered the bum.
no, it's the guy who basically wrote Batman and created Batman. Everything you know about Batman was created by this guy.
Yeah.
Yes, I know you're on about.
Yeah, he got no credit because of the contract between DC Comics
And
and
he was
Bob
Stan Lee
Kane.
in restaurants and said, "Oh, I created Batman, drew Batman on a piece of paper." I'm like, right, bring me my fucking meal.
This guy is, I mean, it's just a movie that you have to watch. It is just amazing documentary, and one of the best of the comic book films that have been released this year.
I tell you one thing, but I think Stan Lee's a Terminator. Me, the fucker just don't die. I don't. That's it.
I know there's something to it.
I'm afraid to ever say anything like that because then he's going to drop dead the next day.
No. I don't want Stan Lee to die. Same reason why I don't want Ric Flair to die.
Yeah.
The dude cannot die.
Now I'm looking forward.
I think Stan Lee is something that Marvel needs to look at of what to be.
Yeah.
Take their actions from that guy. He just represents himself well, no matter what crap is flung at him. Oh, you didn't like my book?
Yeah.
Okay, well maybe you'll like this book, and if not, maybe you'll like
That's
the next.
exactly it.
Yeah.
That is exactly it. Oh, people, they were doing that. I talked to Nick Spence. I said, Nick, you need to learn how to write your craft. I said this to Gabby Rivera too. Go study your craft so you can get better at this. And I got such shit about it. And I so lost my train of thought. I don't know where I was going with this.
Basically, I wish my ex took it up the ass so I could meet Stan Lee. I'm just putting it out there. I just wish she took it up the ass so I met him.
I
Lost you it so I could. You said you wished your lady
My ex.
preferred anal. Okay.
She took it up. I wish she took it up the ass so I could meet Stan
That part
Lee.
I got. What was the second part?
So I could meet Stan Lee.
Oh, well, that's understandable. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, why
Yeah.
not?
No, all right.
It's
Stan
only
Lee
one
and
of
Betty
them.
White are Highlanders. So when we get Stan Lee and Betty White together, one of them have to die.
No,
One of them's
Stan
gonna
Lee
take
cannot
the
die.
head of the
No,
other
no,
one.
No. Stan Lee can't die.
From what I hear, is
That's
that Spencer will be leaving Captain America. Yes, and
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, he's going to Amazing Spider-Man. The dude failed up.
yeah.
well, at least that's the rumor going around. Is this actually confirmed? Have we seen any information on it? Like from
Which, this
from
Nick
anything?
that Nick Spencer thing
I
just makes
remember
me shake my
Captain
head
Marvel show
because
from the 70s. That and ISIS. I'm telling you, ISIS was one of my first crushes, by the way. I'm talking
What,
about
ISIS a terrorist group?
Yes. Those black covered bastards, man, I just get hot every time I see them. No, check out Google the 1970s TV show ISIS. She's
Is
cute.
it the Al Akbar what gets so excited?
All I heard was get too excited.
You mean Al Akbar?
It's like I'm not. Okay, I can't tell. Are you saying Al Akbar or Admiral
Yes.
Akbar?
Yeah, the first
We're
one.
geeks here. It could be either one.
Al
Jesus
Akbar,
Lord,
yeah,
I am-
same thing, yeah.
But with
Oh, shit.
Nick Spencer, it's funny because I've been
Oh,
reviewing
Frugal,
his,
you know that turns you on as well.
I've been reviewing his Superior.
I feel like I'm in a
Forces
goddamn.
and I've given really good
Triggered him
reviews.
again.
Yes,
And then
she was very pretty.
And then I give one tweet or something that gets a guy all crazy about the sales of it. And I said, the sales information is available, and he blocks me.
I think it was kind of weird when I saw that tweet about it. Him basically complaining about us, calling us YouTube idiots and whatnot. And like, comic book industry has survived far worse. I mean, and I was talking to my
No, we're
brother
at the bottom right now.
about this. It's like, are we talking about like the Great? It's like, oh, you mean like the Great Depression, World War II, the 90s comic book speculation bubble and then it bursting? Are we talking about Marvel's bankruptcy?
In all of those times, still sold better than today.
The only times the numbers match today is in the 1800s when there were only 3 comic books to sell. It is just, it's horrible today.
Here's the thing, right? How can frugal offend anybody? He's one of the nicest guys I know. How the fuck can he offend someone?
By proving them wrong.
Exactly.
They have an aversion to facts.
It's like every time Frugal ats me on Twitter and that, it's like, fucking nerd. I'm gonna check out his video.
Now, Maranya, you can get those ISIS TV shows off of I think it's on Hulu
and I
now.
tweet him it as well, saying you're a fucking nerd. I'm still gonna check your video out.
That's all right. I have no problem with that.
and that Frugal or switch snip slapping fucking Cummings around the back.
You have some very, very dark fantasies, sir.
Yeah, this is when I do it when I'm sober. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna send this, fuck it.
Yeah.
The fact that I say to Frugal, oh, you're a fucking nerd, I'm still gonna check your video out. It's hilarious.
You know, Anya, Chef Jack wants to do a history of comic books on Wortham. I think it's a decent thing. I don't think, but he takes forever to do things. You want dark fantasy? Read Berserk.
Yes.
Okay.
You want dark fantasy? Try opening X's Pandora's box and going down on it.
No, I think that if you wanted a dark fantasy comic book, I would recommend Berserk, actually.
You want a dark fantasy, America?
Well, Omnitron is talking about a manga, actually, that's been going on for several decades.
Do you like Pokemon?
What, me?
Mm-hmm.
That's all right.
Yeah, I've got that 60s TV show, too. That's just a ton of fun.
Hold my beer 1 second.
Okay. How do I hold a beer that is not near me? Okay, I will metaphorically hold it with my water bottle that I have next to me.
Yeah. You know, I would like to watch those 60s Batmans with Little Frugal.
You are witnessing the original manga prints of the original Pokemon series manga.
Oh.
I'm glad you said that, Nightwolf, because I feel like I'm in a Lucy skit. He keeps talking. I cannot understand what he's saying, and all I could do is repeat what he says in his own accent.
You'll never master my language, sir. You are a Yank.
Now, Little Frugal's been watching a lot of Pokemon. He's really gotten into that.
Yeah. It's a fun thing for kids. I mean, I still play the video games. They're fun.
That's a Pokemon collection. Damned if I can recall the name of the independent comic I read in the early 80s, but it had a Black Warrior lead. His white blonde female.
Has anybody got subtitles for Old Man Comics?
Say again?
Has anybody got subtitles for Old Man Comics?
Does anyone have subtitles for you?
Well, you're going to need it about... I don't know.
I'm lost. I'm completely lost, guys.
You want subtitles for Old Man Comics?
Don't be that guy reporting for spam on Twitter.
Oh, those are the drunk idiots. Have you encountered the drunk idiots yet?
Mm-hmm.
Are you on Twitter?
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, if you get the drunken idiots
fucking comics. You've tweeted me before on Twitter.
Have I? I don't remember that shit.
Yeah, what about Jaws? What about Jaws? And like you tweet me, I don't think I've seen this film. Oh shit, yeah, I've seen this film.
I don't know who I'm fucking talking to on Twitter half the time. Dude, that's unfortunately the truth.
Drunken Comics, the podcast, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah,
the Drunken Idiots.
They're
Drunk Comics Fan Podcast.
Oh, them little motherfuckers, one with the blue hair.
Yep, that would be the one.
Man, I
does it on purpose.
You know what I'll do? I'll drink that beer, fuck the women, and they'll tell them to sort the fucking lives out and walk out, and come back for second helpings and be like, yo, this is what I do to Trump supporters.
You know what? I've seen their women. You wouldn't do it.
I would do it after a bottle of Super Comfort.
You'd have to take two.
No. I'll need summer comfort, vodka, and painkillers the next fucking morning, and a window to dive out of. Hopefully, a trampoline in between.
Oni Burn, drunk idiots. You mean the salon manager and the job hopper?
Wait, what?
God, those guys.
Is
You know what I
this
think
the
is funny?
Sorry to imitate an American accent. Hey, down here in Louisiana where we drink beers. Is that them the pricks? Yeah.
That sounds about as good as my Irish.
Right. So one got lazy eye and one got like bog eyed and one's a little fat cunt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's about it.
Yeah, I know what you're all about. Yeah. I said to it, he said something, and I said, right, I'm born the same day as Hitler, 420. Does that consider me a Nazi? And he said, yeah. And I said, right, make me in a boxing ring. I'll knock your fucking head out. And guys never, like, I think he's blocked me.
I doubt that. He doesn't block anybody. At least that I'm aware of.
He blocked Cummings.
Well,
he does is
no,
he starts crap with you and then reports you to try to ban you from Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's their thing. You don't ever fall for the trap. Don't threaten. Don't cuss at them.
Nope.
They're not worth that much. I mean, they don't debate anything well enough to be any kind of problem.
Frugal, you've seen some of the shit I post on Twitter. How I've not been banned is amazing.
That is a good point. You do get away with a lot.
I get away with too much on that website. Who friends a porn star? Me.
Yeah, it's yeah. Those I don't.
They're
They're crazy. They're crazy. That's just pretty much the long and short of it.
Oh, I listen to the podcast with me. They don't even know what the fuck they're on about, man.
Yeah, I listened to one also. They talked about a bad comic, a Gwenpool thing that was bad. It was bad. Okay, so I agreed with them. It's shit.
Yeah.
But they're not very good. But here's the thing, and here's what I would warn about.
Yeah.
I saw Weaponized Nerd Rage do a video about them, or was it Underground Comics? One of them did a video on them. I would warn neither me or Mim or anybody with a high view count.
Give them
and I don't mean any disrespect. Yeah, this is not a group you want to have, because I think that's part of the lure.
Yeah.
Start yelling about them, then they're going to get more attention.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. That's why I'm now
So-
have sworn off from communicating with them. I might even, I know I normally don't have a block policy, but I think I might just block them to prevent myself from communicating with them.
When I go after them, usually it's because
Piss out of them.
What?
Why block people when you can just fucking make them look like the biggest dumb cunts in the world?
well, that's what we're saying. Don't want to give them attention, though.
I think my brother said it best. One of the best ways to contend with these types of people is if you keep quiet, they're going to call you an idiot. But if they continue to talk and run their mouth, they leave no question who the actual idiot really is.
Exactly what it's come. What's been going on Twitter? This so-called world champion kickboxer saying something about depression and stuff like that. When I say I suffer from it and shit, and I keep calling him out on it, and he's finally responded.
Underground Geek did the video on him. Okay.
Like I said, I'll meet this guy in a boxing ring, man, and just knock him clean out.
Yeah, I just don't think that we should be giving them the attention that they are obviously craving.
Well, considering their subscriber count and whatnot, it wouldn't surprise me. I don't think that they've really grown that much at all since I.
Yeah, they're still on about 200 subs on YouTube.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of followers on Twitter, but they don't seem to be active.
I question whether or not
followers will not match against my followers. Frugal, how many followers have I got?
I don't know off the top of my head. Sorry.
Nearly 400k followers.
Wow. That is a lot. Hey,
That's
share
far
my
more
video.
than me.
But yeah,
Far more than me.
I've just got 500. But
well, you know what it is? The thing about me on Twitter, I talk to people I normally talk to and that, and I just if somebody piques my interest, you know, like say something interest, obviously I'll talk to them more. But if it's somebody what tries trolling me, they're just gonna be like, nah, not worth it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying about this group.
Mm.
I mean, the only time I ever interacted with them is when, in all honesty, Nightwolf, you get into conversations with them and like 6 people jump on you.
Yeah,
and then
I have a nasty habit.
And then I'll step in and I'll start talking, and they always say the same thing. Oh, you had to go get your YouTube granddaddy. You had to go get your YouTube dad.
It's like I don't need them.
six of you were chasing this kid around. You
know, I don't. And the one thing that's funny is that I only found out about them is because of Captain Cummings and the bullshit that they started with Douglas Ernst. And then Ernst calls in Cummings, Frugal, and it's like you ran right in. You are an idiot. You called Douglas a fake geek. I'm like, what did Doug ever do to you? You know, he doesn't seem to be even trying to start shit with you.
Oh, I remember. And then tweeted to him now.
And then you get Cummings' attention, and of course, the captain's gonna get all
captainy
and cause a ruckus and cause trouble.
And these motherfuckers got my attention. This is when I tweeted to them, and they didn't say boo to me. I said, "You two look like fucking sex offenders. Fuck off."
And I saw the whole thing going down, and he got upset because Captain Cummings called him a cuck. I'm like, well, I hate to tell you this, but this is the internet, and he doesn't have to follow your particular standards or rules. He can call you whatever the hell he wants. And I got into this whole conversation about it. Just it's like, look, I'm not trying to say that what he did was appropriate, but what I am saying is that he has the right to do whatever the hell he wants, just like you do. You can. And then he tried to pin it on, you know, other people who might be more of the sensitive nature, you know, defending, you know, people who are precious little snowflakes and can't handle it. I'm like, look, there are tools at your disposal here on Twitter. If those people can't handle someone like Captain Cummings or myself or anyone else, there is a block button, there is a mute button, or even better yet, just don't be online in general. You have the options. Use them. That was all I basically said. And then he's like, no. It was like, from the conversation, it's like, you're basically trying to police people's speech, and you can't do that. You can't control everybody on Twitter. And I was like, well, we mentioned my friend earlier who's blunt as all heck and doesn't have any form of tact. I told him, it's like, my friend has a very weird behavior where, you know, he will tell you how he sees things, and he doesn't give a shit what you feel. And he's like, oh, well, you should tell him to stop doing that. It's like, what if it's part of a mental disorder that he has where he doesn't have a mute button?
Welcome to my world.
Exactly.
You know, I just found out I got a copyright dispute over my Let's Play that I just did over a game that I've done Let's Plays with before that I've never had an issue with.
Really?
Who's flagged it now?
Yeah, so it was that Left 4 Dead. I played it with my brother, and it did one, and now I just filed a dispute for it. But how ridiculous is that? I've done a Let's Play with it before.
All right, listen to this one. This looks also put on Twitter. 1,000 people tell me I think I'm wrong while beauty queens call my phone while I laugh and feel happy, consent myself. And my response was, you mean gold digging claps up fucks will add more dick in them than Madison Square has had breppers in them?
Let's see.
That's me, straight putting it blunt. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So who filed the copyright?
Cummings.
It says the copyright dispute is currently being reviewed by the copyright owner.
It should be. There should be something at the bottom that says who it is. Because any video that's copyrighted claims someone has to be the recipient. Of the
yep. Okay. Claimant LifeTube channel Video Prez something WIDEOPREZENTACJE. In other words, they probably got pissed at one of my previous videos and they filed a claimant strike against me for a Let's Play.
Yeah, that's not anybody who I could think of that owns any rights to Left 4 Dead.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna watch that Inhumans TV show.
Right, I've done videos with it before. So somebody got pissed off because of one of my videos, and they filed a copyright strike against me.
Well, more than likely, I don't know how you would combat that exactly.
I submitted a thing for it. So
yeah, because that claim is false as hell.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Be careful, obviously, but yeah, that's a fake claim. I've had claims before, or well, they weren't like a copyright strike claim or like take this video down immediately. It was more or less, this has copyrighted material. We're going to put ads on it and we get the money. So it's like, okay, I'm fine with that. It is your video game. So
yeah, I don't even run ads on it, so I don't care about that. It's just sort of funny. It's like, okay, so somebody just got pissy and tried to hit me with that. I just thought I'd bring that up because that's how they act when they don't like you.
I'm surprised that no one has ever tried that crap with me before.
CB Apollo, yeah, I want to watch the Inhumans TV show, but I support any superhero thing just because I want them to keep making it.
Yep.
Because if this one sucks, then maybe the next one will be better. So I always support any kind of superhero TV show or movie just for that reason alone. The Black Bolt comic book is amazing. I actually included it on a 8 comic. Well, it was really 10 comics you have to be reading right now. List. That is a really good book to read. Sorry, occasionally, guys. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to include the people who are off.
You know what it is. The strippers just followed me on Twitter. That's it. I'm done.
we have to include the chat. That's the fun part about this is we have to keep
you know the thing about anything, any platform you got to involve your audience. If you get what I mean, your audience makes your platform the thing what it is. Without
I try. Oh, sorry. So I try to actually answer all comments on my videos. Sometimes it's really tough to do, but really do. I mean, if somebody takes time to write something, you got to respond.
At the very least, either respond or at the very least read it.
Well, you have to do that because you have to read it at least.
Yeah. I love my audience, quite honestly.
You know what it is? I love 30% of my Twitter followers.
Only 30%? Ouch.
I just looked at the content part that's that for the play match is a cut scene. It's like, really?
No.
Can you delete it without losing anything?
It's because they make me laugh on Twitter, if you get what I mean. While the rest is sensitive little assholes.
Yeah.
Well, it's a game that anybody can play and it'll be on there, so I'm sure it'll get overturned. If not, I don't care anyway. I'll just put it to VidMe.
Right. Frugal, can I PvP you on Elder Scrolls Online or Left 4 Dead?
You played only on the computer, though, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I don't have it on the computer, so.
Right, start milking in that YouTube money and you'll get to play with me.
Yeah,
I wanted to include.
I honestly do it for the community. I'm completely fan funded. I don't get any YouTube.
I killed a YouTube streamer yesterday on Elder Scrolls Online, so I'm happy about it. Carried his ass through a dungeon run as well.
Guys, I do have to leave in just a couple minutes, just so you know.
Actually, considering the stream's been going for over 3 hours, I think I'm going to stop it.
Yeah, it's
before the storm takes over Florida.
Oh, okay.
I am so freaking surprised. I swear they said that the worst part is here, and it is sounding scary as hell outside. I thought we would be down already.
Dude, it's like nearly 3 in the morning over here, and they're touching 4 o'clock. So yeah.
Holy Toledo! Wow. Yeah.
Well,
this night to you, man.
Yeah, this has been fun. Thank you, everybody who joined.
It's been emotional. I hope I haven't been offending too much people.
I think you're fine.
I didn't understand half of what you said, so
I don't understand you. Anyway, you sound like a pensioner.
Once again, didn't understand a thing you just said, except for you don't understand.
Yeah, an age, you old cunt.
Well, thank you. Thanks everybody who joined the stream, and thanks everybody who joined and talked on the stream. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Captain Frugal. Thank you, I Love Comics. Thank you, guys, for being
No
here.
worries.
All-time comics.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure like always.
Fun, kids.
Have
Goodbye.
fun, people.
Yep. Bye bye.